you guys hear us? Let's go over.
All right, we might be back.
I think we're back. Good afternoon. Let me just share it to a few. Good afternoon to the Royal Court. What's up, man? How you doing, player? You I see you. You pimping.
Like
Or,
video bombing.
what's up, Angela, in the building? Hold on one second. Oh, okay. So now I'm gonna go here the way I was. We're back.
Say the video still ain't 100%, but we are here.
I just want to stream it. I just want to send it over.
Yeah, it's showing. You only got a few bars over here.
Yeah, no, but yours was fully loaded. Let me try this.
All right, y'all.
We're going in and out.
We gonna get it there. Welcome. It's the King and I podcast. I'm Emmanuel Livingston, the King of Talk, along with Wyatt.
I'm the I.
He's the G of Talk.
Right.
G over here. We got a few things that we're gonna talk about. Got a few things that we're gonna talk feedback. But we're trying to get these technical difficulties.
It's all E fault.
Trying to get them all together. Hold on, let me see if we go here.
Y'all better run. Y'all better.
Yeah, we try everything together, trying to get all the technical
things.
Yeah.
What's happening?
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, it
is. Trying to get all the technical difficulties together.
We got Kenny. We got my
Angela Kenny got Mono in the house.
I'm trying to say just so I know. And for those who've been looking, I'm strapped. I promise you, I'm over there. So you can bring it if you want to. What is going on, man?
Did you connect to the Fire Optics?
Yeah, we connect. We're connected.
Double check it and make sure that that's what it's connected to.
We connect. See, and it's saying we fully loaded.
She's not going.
It's saying we're connected.
No.
What's that?
You are you got that PC.
Oh, it's on me.
Oh yeah, it's
so
definitely
if it was
on you.
On yours,
if it was hooked on mine, we'd be good and clear. You see all them green bars on mine? See all them green bars over there at Mac?
I don't mean that. Well, what? To the Mac.
And then you see
How long it take us to
see
do the Mac?
your yellow bars?
They trying to make it on. He's trying to put it on me. He trying to not going to. He showed up with a truck full of stuff to set up. I came in this joint with a bag. A boys club type of bag from back in the day, right? He came in, he had to pull the truck up. He pulled a big old truck up on the side of the building, and he got camera. Y'all seen it in preparation. He brought switchboards, several cameras, and wouldn't have you on me to do different angles.
Hey, you got to do it right, man. Man,
I'm
all you gotta do is look right into that camera and talk to the people.
we freezing, man.
Cause
How long would it
you got
connect
that
to the
PC.
thing? What's the difference? You got a stronger push.
Mine is a Mac, bruh.
Oh, Mac is better than I don't know. I don't know. Thomas. Who is right? People don't talk like that.
I don't know
Fame.
what's no other tell you. Ross be
What
talking.
up?
Ross be talking reckless.
Yeah,
He really
nah,
do.
fame is here.
He
So
talks
it can't be
reckless.
fame disguised as Roz. Because that's some that's some fame Rothstein type right there. Let's take a commercial break. How long is it gonna take over, man?
Oh man, it's but a couple minutes. I'll have to send you the link to do the same thing.
Oh Lord.
So
You're gonna have to do it, man. I'm not a technical guy. So
all right.
let's switch it over.
And just for the record, the technical difficulties is because this dude will not invest in a Mac. He will not invest
they
in a
know
Mac.
you lying now. I just didn't know. It's not that I wouldn't invest in one.
How old is that piece?
About 3 years old, maybe.
It's 3. You
That's-
sure?
Yeah.
That look about 7. Easy.
Flip touch screen, they ain't made them like that 7 years ago.
If you say so.
I'm being honest. 6 years old.
All right.
Maybe 5. I don't know.
But let's do this. Let's switch it over.
All right, we're gonna switch it over. So right connection. Tiffany Daniels just walked in the
And
building. Mary Myers. Just walked up.
You're gonna
I'm in a
end the stream here.
fame. What,
You got to end the stream here.
man? I just want to leave some witnesses to what I'm in. Fame on one side and Mary Myers on the other side. If I don't make it home, y'all know why. All right. All right.
We'll be right back.
We'll be back. This pays and respond. Exit page. Okay. Man, we was talking all that.
All right. Well, we on here. I'm waiting for you to link up with us.
What do you have on? I ain't come down here to
Waiting on Wyatt to link up with us. He's coming. All right, can y'all see and hear us now? Those of you on my pages.
I talk about that. You trying to tell me I don't talk about the do-rags that be walking around?
Are we all right now? Can y'all see us? Can y'all hear us? All right. They said they got us over here. Are we choppy? Are we clean? What we looking like? What we sounding like? What we looking like? What we sounding like?
Mic check. Can you guys hear me? They out here chopping me up, talking about I don't talk about dudes that got on pajama pants. They all can get it. I told you I'm AB out here. They all can get it. That's what I'm doing, but I'm working.
Right there.
Where I'm at, right here?
Yeah.
Why wear a bonnet all day to be ready for the night, to the day? That makes no sense to me.
Oh, we doing close-ups. We doing close-ups.
Hold on. Let me get in the game and then we'll bring it on.
They over there. They already over there talking about no close-ups.
Who said no close-ups?
When I'm ready to do a close-up, I'm gonna do a close-up. Just so you know.
Who said no close-up? Somebody on the air?
You know who it was. Oh, Roz.
Roz?
Yeah.
Who is Roz? Roz, come on down here. I got a free rib for you. That sounds like a dog. Okay. Hey, small doggy. Come on down here, Roz. We got something for you. A free rib tip dinner.
See,
okay,
I think you did it wrong.
I just logged in.
Yeah, no, you ain't supposed to do that.
I'm not supposed to log into the thing?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you just click that link.
Ah. And it'll put me right in there?
It'll take you right there.
My bad, bro. My fault. So join.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then you gotta add your channels up there.
This is why E came. Listen to how she said that. Listen.
All right.
She can come on over here and get some. Hey, we got a 2-minute warning though, like a 2-minute situation. Is that it, E?
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Okay, so I'm good over here. Don't worry about anything over here.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
All right.
All right. I gotta change that because
Sabrina Calloway rocking.
You can't call
the
us on that
shirt
number
in town.
today.
Look at that. You ain't gonna show us the shirt.
Can't call us on that number today.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have to control the whole dash there.
Yeah.
Boy, they didn't came. Listen, we came. Listen, why did you? Them yo folks over there. Yeah, but she ain't saying nothing. She being cool, collective, chill. The Wyatt family, chill. We chill until something jump off. Then we get at it.
All right. So now,
so I got the phone line.
What's on the table? Give out the number. I don't remember the number.
We're using one phone line, one call phone line, and it is 513. I'm gonna put it on the paper here so you have it as well. 513-310-0546 to call in and agree with me. Agree with me, not E. All right, give me that number. 513-310-0546. That's the single line that we're using today. And that's the line to call in and give us your comments. Tiffany Daniels, did you order something in there? You did? You okay? Can't. Nah, I'm good. You paying for it? You got me? Oh yeah, shit. Give me a number 3, number 4, number 6. Add an extra biscuit. Give me a number 5. Y'all want something? She paying. Y'all know how it is. You can't take some people nowhere with you. You give them, it's like a cat. You feed a cat, he coming back and back and back. You can't take some people with you nowhere. You take them to the club and it's over.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, what we doing?
Let's get into it.
What we doing?
There was a shooting
Yep.
that happened, what was it, Saturday night,
Yeah.
Sunday morning, over the Rhine,
Right here, right around the corner.
right around the corner. Now, just so you, I didn't even know about the shooting. The shooting happened like overnight. Y'all know I go to sleep, and then I wake up in the morning. First thing I do Sunday morning, I go to church.
See, that's what's wrong.
What?
I'm gonna stop you right now.
Hold on, that's what's wrong?
That's what's wrong. First of all,
Going to church.
you and I talked. We spoke yesterday. It was after church, and you still didn't know. So why the people
I had
in the
just
church?
got home.
I know why the people in the church didn't know.
Bruh.
Why the pastor didn't say nothing about it?
No.
See, that's
why
what's
would the
wrong.
pastor talk about it?
That's
he was talking
what's
about
wrong.
other stuff, bro.
Nah,
he was talking
pastor,
about other stuff.
Pastor got to talk about what's happening.
Pastor didn't have to talk about that. He already had a message laid out.
That's how you got in.
He was probably asleep.
I had a message
when
for
news
the
broke.
day.
He had did his studying. He had did his praying, his meditating.
I had a message today, and it wasn't about a shooting.
God made a deep sleep go over him. He got some rest. He woke up in the morning, got back in meditation in the Holy of Holies. I'm not 100% sure what that means, but and then he came on to church. I didn't get up in the morning watching the news. I got to be at church early, bro.
Let me send this over to some. I got to have some of my people watching this, man, because if not, I'm going to get jumped. Hey, Fame, I'm going to get radio jumped over here in a minute if I don't send this to some of my people. Cause
No, I run sound and video.
What's the armor bearer?
And all of that good stuff.
What's the armor? Is that the casket carrier?
No, the armor bearer. Hold on, now this is my understanding.
No, I'm serious. I don't know
armor
what that
bearer
is.
You know what I'm saying? I protect you as the pastor.
Oh, the guy who was sitting up there when the pastor got robbed, that would have been you.
he might not have been. I don't think he was the armor bearer.
That ain't E. Because I didn't heard how he feel about protecting somebody's back on another show. He was, you on your own.
Hey,
you on your own, man. It's might be
depending on the situation,
yeah,
you might be on your own.
That's how that dude was. That deacon was sitting up there like this.
No, he wasn't. That dude was sitting there like this.
Yeah, like he was in on it.
Yeah, he knew something.
Hey, Ron, don't forget the pinky ring. Don't forget the ring. Yeah, he was part of that.
But so give us the details as you remember them with regard to this shooting. Like 9 people. Just you correct me where I'm wrong. So, what time did this happen?
I don't remember
around
exactly.
Like 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, something like that.
Type in the morning.
People out having a good time. Apparently, an argument broke out between 2 groups, allegedly, because I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going on information that was given. Allegedly, an argument broke out between a couple groups of people, and somebody started shooting.
Yeah, I mean,
apparently multiple people started shooting.
Yeah,
because the police say they shot at one of the dudes that was shooting. He ran, and they were still hearing gunshots.
Yeah.
So apparently, people started shooting at each other. 9 people got hit. 8 men, 1 woman. They all went to the hospital, and they were all released. None of the injuries are life-threatening, but it was a huge deal because there's 9 people getting shot. 9 people getting shot in the city of Cincinnati.
All in one occurrence. All in one situation.
So that classifies as a mass shooting.
Correct.
It does. It classifies as a mass shooting. Luckily, nobody got killed. And there was a press conference.
Yeah.
With Mayor Avtab Pureval.
Scotty Johnson.
I don't know who the.
I didn't see the
officer. No, I didn't see the chief.
Police. Was she there?
No, I didn't see the chief. But there was an officer there who spoke. I don't remember his name. And the city manager.
Okay.
And they all said, I guess, what they're supposed to say. This is terrible. It's unacceptable. All the stuff they're supposed to say. I mean, It would be bad if they got up there and said, hey, it wasn't that big of a deal. They can't do that.
I think I'm proud of Scotty Johnson for what he said. And he said accountability. He used the word that a lot of those politicians just don't use today. Accountability. Scotty said it, and nobody has ever really said it like he said it before. We got to hold people accountable for their actions.
But
People need to start speaking up and stop that snitching stuff. Like it's a snitch environment and society we live in. Scotty brought it to the table. I'm proud of him.
hold on, let me agree with Scotty and disagree with Scotty a little bit. I agree with Scotty. Yeah, people need to be accountable for their own actions. No doubt about that. No doubt. Here becomes my issue with that. Now, he didn't use these words, but some of this is just how I feel. And I got to be real about how I feel. I felt like what he was saying, and again, he didn't say these words. I felt like what he was saying was the black community, the African American community has to be accountable for their actions. The African American community has to stop worrying about not snitching. The African American community has to take a stand on these things. And while I don't disagree with that, I don't like the idea that somebody used the term about in the culture. I've been African American for 51, coming up on 52 years. It's not a part of my culture to shoot into a crowd. That's not African American culture. And I don't like it being positioned that way. Look, I get it.
You on some chaos agent shit.
Allegedly, was black people who was shooting. But they don't represent. Yeah, allegedly. I didn't see them.
Neither did I.
Right. So allegedly it was black people.
The officer gave a description of the assailant.
Well,
he did give a description.
You can't always, you know.
Oh, okay. Here we go with that.
Allegedly.
Yeah, you're right.
It's still alleged.
You're right.
It's still alleged.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I have issues with the way that they're kind of couching it as if it's just it's not a culture. It's not a black culture thing.
All I can tell you is this.
It's a criminal element or a I don't know, some subculture thing. People who are out here, you know, trying to be hard or whatever. It's not a black culture thing. That is not a part of black culture. That's not how any black people that I know that I was raised with, that's not what we were taught. It's not. So I had an issue with that. And then, and this is a separate issue that maybe we can get into at some point, but I think Scotty, which I think maybe if there's maybe 3 or 4 police officers based on my dealings with them that can make that comment. Because I need to see consistency when you start talking about changing a culture, speaking out. If you see something, say something. Don't let things go by. Do something about it. Because I don't hear police saying that when police do bad stuff. I don't hear police saying that when police breaking the law. For the most part, I don't hear police getting up, having press conferences saying to other police. I would love to see Aftab Pureval get up when we have some something happen, like police officers calling people N-word. I would love to see Aftab Pureval and Scotty Johnson get up and hold a press conference and speak directly to police officers and say, you need to be more accountable. But what's wrong with your culture? Why would you allow this? If you hear something, you say something.
But how do you know?
How can we not weed this out?
Let me ask you something. How do you know that they don't do that in officer meeting rooms or something? You know how the teams get, when the officers get in their meetings before they hit the road or before they do their thing? Would it be appropriate for the city of Cincinnati leaders to come out on on a TV screen and call out the police department like that versus in the back room? The reason why Scotty is calling out the community, he can't single us out. He has to say it in a news press because he's speaking to more people. He's talking to the whole community. He's talking to
to the whole police force.
Yeah, I know, but that ain't where you do
that. In a press conference.
So where do you get this? Where do you push this information out to the community? What platform do you use to say that same thing to the community versus to the police officer?
Community meetings.
Ain't nobody. You got to make people go.
Call them. Call community meetings.
Oh man, you know how them community meetings look. Come on, E. That's not even feasible.
It don't seem to me like they try. It don't feel to me like they try.
Okay, call Avondale.
You tell me, Wyatt.
Call Avondale and ask Avondale how their community meetings are going.
Wyatt, you tell me this. What do you see city leaders doing to slow down or stop this
So wait a minute,
violence
hold
that we
on.
see?
First of all, it sounds to me like you got a problem with what Scotty said first, because he called out the community, the people who have more idea of who actually the shooters were,
I have no idea who the shooters were.
and neither does Scotty. He's calling for the community to step up and say something. What's wrong with that, bro?
There's nothing wrong with that. But all I'm saying is I need to see some consistency when law enforcement do something wrong. Have a press conference and call for law enforcement officials to step up and say something too.
So you want city council
Uh-huh.
to have a
Press conference.
press conference
Yeah.
at City Hall
Uh-huh.
and call out the police department?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if that's feasible. I just don't, I'm
Tell
not
me what's
saying-
wrong with that.
I think that what happens is you would the people's energy would change towards the police department
Oh, my
if you
goodness.
do that.
Well, a
It's
police
already
officer-
like that. The reason why
Oh.
Cincinnati has 100+ shortage of police officers is because
Oh.
of the environment. People,
So don't hold them
what makes
accountable.
you-
So
what-
don't hold them
what
accountable
makes you
because
think- wait a
then
minute,
people
hold
might not
on,
want to be
hold
police.
on. What makes you think? Why do you think that those guys, according to the report,
According to the
these
report.
guys shot right in front of the police? Can somebody tell me here why people will shoot right? Hey, can somebody tell me here why the people in the community will shoot right in front of the police? They don't care. They don't respect the police
Why don't they respect the police?
because of how the environment has been lately.
Or maybe because of the actions of the police.
Maybe so, but all
So
police
what?
aren't doing it.
And all black people ain't doing it.
But that ain't what we saying. We asking the community to come forward and say something and take away the snitch game.
And all I'm
type of
saying
thing.
is,
but you,
when things happen with the police force, I'm asking police to come forward and say something. Forget about the snitch game.
That ain't what
come
you
forward
saying.
and say something. That's
That's
exactly what I
no,
said.
you said you wanted them to have a press conference and
Right.
call them forward on that.
Right.
That's not what you do. You don't.
Oh.
If you are a business, you don't have a press
They're
conference.
not a business though.
They are a business.
No, they're not. They're a city. They're not a business.
So Metro isn't a business. The
Mm,
fire department isn't a business.
No, it's
they
not.
run off a budget. They pay employees.
Just because they run off of
they
a
may
budget,
be
they are
non-profit.
not.
They may be non-profit
They're not
businesses.
a business. They're a government entity.
Am I like
They are a government entity.
that? Don't make you so. There's no government employees.
Just because you have employees, that don't necessarily mean they're business. They're a government entity.
Business means what? Does it mean just because you make a profit that makes you a business?
Well, hold on. Let me define it then. From my perspective.
Oh,
Okay? Yeah, from my perspective.
okay, all
Hold on.
right. That makes
and I
sense.
shouldn't even have to say that. Everything I say is from my
Well,
perspective.
no, you made it sound
unless
like I was on
I tell
some
you it's from
craziness.
somebody else's perspective.
No, you made it sound
From
like
my-
I
when
was
you
like.
when you talk about
this-
a business,
Okay.
I'm thinking about a private entity.
No,
But
all
when
businesses
you
is
when you
private.
talking about I own this. If Cincinnati is a business, I'm on the board of directors.
Okay.
I'm a stockholder. And I say I want the same level of accountability from law enforcement that y'all expect from citizens, which to me is backwards. It's backwards. Let me tell you, I've never raised my hand and taken an oath to uphold the law. Not one time. Not one time. They don't pay me to solve crimes in the city of Cincinnati. Not a dime. Not a dime. Okay? Now, look, I agree with them. If you know, say something. If you know, say something.
and that's
sure.
the message that he got across. That's all
But
he was saying.
and all I'm saying is keep that same energy when it's the police. Keep that same energy when it's the police.
Well,
That's
wait a
all I'm
minute
saying.
now. All right, I understand what he's saying, but I just don't know if you have a press conference to call out your police. I think what happens is when something go wrong, it get in the news media, like when the police lady said the N-word, and I hate all of them, and that's putting it on blast and putting it out there for the people to see. They did that. They do that. The two guys
hold
that
on.
just had the federal case down
Uh-huh.
at the federal
they-
court building.
Did they tell police y'all need to take accountability for y'all culture?
Well, I mean, that's not where you do that. In a press conference?
Why not? They did it in a press conference to the black community
No.
as if we was all down there standing behind the dude or
We
dudes.
just gonna agree to disagree. So basically what you're saying is you're not okay with it until they show a consistency of the police being challenged just like the community.
No.
That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that I'm not okay with it. I'm
Yeah,
just
you
saying
just
that I
said.
want to see the consistency when It's not the black community.
So, okay,
Nobody has a
so-
problem standing up talking tough about the black community. Nobody got a problem with that. But everybody got a problem standing up talking tough about rogue police officers. Everybody got a problem standing up talking tough about corrupt politicians. Everybody got a problem standing up, but the black community, oh, we'll stand up and we'll talk as tough as we want to talk. We'll call y'all all kinds of names. We'll insinuate that this is somehow embedded in y'all culture and that y'all know who did it and y'all should tell us. I have no idea who did it.
Maybe
that's
you
not
don't,
a part of my culture.
You know, sometimes when the microphone is on and the speakers are loud, the message is not meant for you. Maybe it's meant for the people that just live that type of lifestyle. Maybe it's the people that actually know who made the shot, who did the shot. Somebody know, not only just the person who actually shot, there's people that was there who knew the people that was shooting. Maybe that message was for them.
Well, then they shouldn't have posed it as a problem with the African-American community.
Wait a minute. I didn't hear Scotty say that.
Again, I told you, he didn't say those words.
Okay, don't put words in his mouth. That ain't
somebody
fair.
said
you changing the message.
No, when you go to talk about snitching culture, they know that's a dog whistle for Black America. They know true. That's a dog whistle.
That's not
Who
true.
Who else do they say that about?
The blue. They say the blue don't tell on the blue.
They don't call that a snitching culture.
What do they call it?
They call that the Good Old Boy Network. They call that Blue Wall. They call if I get up talking about the Blue Wall, no other community thinks I'm talking about them. Nobody. You know who I'm talking about when I go talk about the Blue Wall of Silence. You know who I'm talking about. And when you start talking about snitching culture, everybody know who you talking about.
No, because believe it or not, there's white boys sitting in the joint that live by those same philosophies.
Not the point.
Of snitching.
Not the point.
Yeah, it is. You said that nobody think of snitching, but in our community, and that's it. That's not true.
And when you I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
What did you say? What up, Black Russians in the?
It's a dog whistle.
What's good, Black Russian? You hear this madness over here?
It's a dog whistle. It's a dog whistle.
He said that when we talk about snitching, well, basically what Scotty said. He said that Scotty, until they have a consistency of calling out the police for their non-snitching on one another, that what Scotty said, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. But
thank you.
Basically what he was saying in a nutshell was what Scotty was saying was crazy. And that until there's a level of consistency of the city of Cincinnati coming out, holding the police the same way, have a press conference when the police are not telling the truth about something, have that same energy, basically.
Have that same energy, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because look,
all I'm saying to you is that's not how you hold a press conference.
Because I hear him talking about personal accountability. I'm cool with talking about personal accountability. Because personal accountability is not a matter of the whole community taking responsibility for the actions of a few bad apples. So personal responsibility is taking responsibility for your actions.
Let me ask you, is there a reason why people are taking what happened downtown and over the Rhine? Is there a reason why we as the Black community has taken that personal based on what Scotty said? Is there a reason why you're taking that personal?
Hold on, I don't know.
Because he didn't say the Black community specifically.
I don't know that we as a community are taking it personal. Right. I don't represent, and that you just did what I'm talking about.
What you mean?
I don't represent the Black community. I represent me. The Black community is not taking it personal. I took it personal.
But you took it personal because you made it sound like he was being malice towards the Black community.
I don't think
so. I don't think that you're the only person who would take it that way, E.
I'm not saying there was even malice. I'm not even saying there was malice.
Well, in a sense,
I believe his heart was probably in the right place.
But you don't agree with him, right?
All I want to do.
Do you agree with what he said or not?
I agree with a good majority of what he said. I agree with the whole personal responsibility.
See, this is the whole problem. We find all these different ways. We have all these different ways of explaining other things before we really get to the root of the real problem. And it's accountability.
I'm telling you what I agree with. You asked me, what do I agree with? I'm trying to tell you what I agree with.
Okay, well.
I agree with personal responsibility. I agree with that.
So why are we having all this other conversation then?
Because they took it further than personal responsibility. They talked about a culture. They talked about a culture of not snitching.
Okay, so what did he say?
In a particular community.
What did he say that was wrong? I'm saying, why do you have why did it hit you or strike you wrong? I don't understand what he said why are you making this a personal, like he was attacking the community or labeling the community? It was a situation that's common across this country
Mm-hmm.
in metropolitan cities.
Mm-hmm.
He said nothing wrong. He said nothing wrong.
Let me ask you this. When that guy shot up that concert in Las Vegas, how many press conferences did you hear talking about a culture of irresponsibility?
Well, I can tell you they did say something about gun violence. They were talking about the type of guns that was used in that assault.
Mm-hmm.
And they start talking about the gun culture. It wasn't
So
necessarily the
right, they
Caucasian
talked about
culture
the
or the
gun
white
culture.
culture or anything like that. They start talking about the gun culture and the accessibilities to guns.
Right.
So when you have a,
But that ain't what they talked about here.
yes, they do.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that is
Matter
not,
of fact, that's why I have
that
a
is not
disagreement
what
with your
they
mayor.
talked about.
Yes, Scotty hit it on the head. Aftab, the mayor, went somewhere else with it, and he's talking about accessibility to guns and more guns than people and all that. He diverted the whole situation of accountability to people's accessibility to guns. People make decisions. Guns don't do this. People do this. Guns are accessible, yes, but it takes a mentality to do what people doing out here in the streets with these guns, bro.
When that dude shot up that grocery store,
Yep, mentality.
did they talk about the culture allowing him to do it?
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They talked about
Yes,
gun
they did.
culture.
They
They
talked
talked about gun
Okay,
culture.
that, and I also heard about, well, you know, them white dudes be getting them AR-15s and shooting up spots and
That
blah,
was
blah, blah.
us.
First
That was
of all,
us. That wasn't the man. You know what I'm saying? That was us. That wasn't the leaders.
Man, I mean,
there. That was us.
So basically, it was Scotty that you have a problem. You only have a problem with what Scotty said.
No. I got a problem with what
up?
what
How you doing?
Aftab said as well.
What's happening?
Hey, pretty girl.
What's your name?
Diane.
Diane. What's
Hey.
up, Miss Diane? You agree? Say I agree with Wyatt.
I agree with him. I'm on his side.
That ain't Wyatt.
I'm on his side.
You don't even know what he say.
I'm on his side. Whatever he says, go.
Yeah, see, he don't even know.
Whatever he says, go.
That's a
Yeah.
wise lady
You
right
don't
there.
even know.
That's right. I give my grandkids good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you listening to him, you better get away from. I'm calling 241 kids. If you listening to
I
him,
got 3 girls and 1 boy. My kids are grown.
if you listening
my
to
kids.
him and you agree with him,
I do agree with him. I'm in his corner. I'm on his corner.
what's his name again?
I'm on his.
It's not important, man. We try to track people, trick them up, and all that stuff. She agreed.
She don't even know what you said. She don't even. Yeah, it's the baby over there.
Let me say this.
She got on boots. That's why. Bro, come on now. She got on hot ass Timbs. It's 92 degrees outside. Pink ones at that. Stop.
Let me say this.
Yeah,
Something-
that is. You sent the ringer down here. Yeah.
Something does
You didn't
need
say
to be
somebody
done.
now. Bro, you can't bring me to OTR, bro. This is my home. I used to come here when I was little baby age, bro. I'm gonna be me.
Something does
She
need
had
to be
on
done
boots.
about gun violence.
She had on Timbs.
And I'm trying to move on, bro.
She had
Something
on
has to
Timbs
be done
with
about gun violence.
bro, with
No doubt about
with
it.
a drawn on Nike sign on the side. Don't think I didn't peep that. Don't think I didn't peep that. Angela Kinney ain't finding that funny, but I'm sorry. She should have agreed with me. I wouldn't have went in.
Something has to be
Say
done.
what?
I believe
Who
I
shot up the block?
believe in personal responsibility.
Yeah,
I don't
I
have
do
a problem
too.
with that.
Well,
I
then,
don't have a problem with that.
then Scotty said, "I detect no lies in what Scotty said."
I
Where's Scotty? Somebody get Scotty down here so I got his back. I'll defend what he said. But you get your mayor down here and have him explain his words.
I had issues with the mayor too.
What'd he say wrong?
Here's what I didn't like what the mayor said, and it's one of my big beefs. Typically, it's older black men that I hear saying it.
He ain't neither one of them.
I know, but he basically kind of encouraged violence. He encouraged fist fighting. Why, when people get into a problem, and why don't they just get into a fist fight instead of pulling out a gun? Why don't they just figure out how to solve their problems without violence, Mr. Mayor? I just think it's one of the most irresponsible
I bet
things.
he ain't never had a fight in his life.
When grown people
What you
encourage young people or other people to engage in acts of physical violence
So
because
in other
they have
words,
a
he
disagreement.
promoted an assault assault actions versus firing gun action.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yeah,
buy that.
I don't like that.
I didn't catch all of that in
I understand when people say what they trying to say, but the issue is when you encourage any kind of violence, violence escalates to other violence.
Okay, come on over here. But I ain't gonna bite. I heard you say, dog, I ain't gonna bite. Come on over here. What's your name? Come on
You
over.
got to come on, get to the mic. We need you to get to the mic. Get to the mic.
I was just saying,
Say your name first.
Cleopatra.
Oh, this Cleopatra Jones?
I said one of the.
Cleopatra Jones. Is this Cleopatra Jones? Okay, good. She's always supporting us.
I said one of the reasons why some adults would teach youth to fight is because they don't know no other way.
Yeah.
They're teaching how they were teaching. Like some of the community don't have the ability to have conflict resolution.
There you go.
Right?
And if they keep teaching violence, they're never going to develop
right,
it.
We never going to. So it got to start, like Randall Wyatt said, it has to start from the home.
At home.
The parent has to know how to resolve a conflict without verbal abuse and physical abuse.
Right. See? Now that's a true queen. She said it right. Accountability at home. And like you said, Cleopatra, you know, some people just don't know how to handle beefs any other way. And that goes with the fighting, physical fighting, or gunplay. You see what I'm saying? There's a point in a person's life where the ball's been dropped. The ball's been dropped, bro. When you out here shooting and all that old stuff to handle your problems, you know, the ball's been dropped.
But look, that's all I'm saying about it. Like, give me that same energy when it ain't.
Yeah, man.
But as black,
you adding too much fog to the problem, man. How we gonna solve the problem that happened on Saturday night? And we talking about the inconsistencies of the speeches because of what happened.
Because it all plays into one, and it all
that
plays
ain't solving
together.
no problem.
It all plays together. Look,
how does that solve a problem?
Here is how it all plays together. Like you said, if the police are standing there, the idea that you would just start shooting with the police right there is almost unfathomable. Almost unfathomable.
It makes sense to me.
So
I know where we are today.
And how do we get where we are today? We get where we are today by allowing the level of respect for police to come so low. And how does the respect for police come so low? It's not because of me. It's because of their actions and no one holding them accountable. Based
on your logic, people should treat the black community that same way. They basically would lower the standards and treat us like crap because of the actions of a few. So based on what happened Saturday night, people should look at all of us black folks here and think that we all act just like what happened over there at OTR.
I'm not sure where you got that. To me. I'm not sure where you got that from my logic. I'm not sure where you got that from my logic.
I see what you're saying.
Cleopatra's talking.
And that's exactly what we do to the police too, right?
That's not.
But
that's not my logic.
That's what we doing to the police too, right?
No, that's not what we doing to the police.
But yes, it is.
It's not.
That's exactly what we do to the police.
No, let me tell you this.
You putting the actions of the one Caucasian lady who called the N-word, and I hate all of them. You saying, see, that's the culture of police. That's the reason why we don't respect the police. I can't go for that.
I'm not saying that.
What you saying?
You missing the point that I'm making.
No, I caught it.
The point,
I just don't agree
you
with
didn't.
It.
The point that I'm making is, if they're gonna say because a black person or a couple black people got the shooting that's black culture or African American culture or that snitching culture, which is really just a dog whistle.
Let's be honest, E.
Let's be honest.
It's inner city culture.
It's not inner city culture.
All right, cool.
It's not inner city culture.
What happened over the weekend is not happening throughout the city of Cincinnati.
How many people you know?
32 communities. This is what AFTAB, hold on. This is what AFTAB said the night of his acceptance speech. The first night he was brought in office, he said, I am going to make sure that all 32 communities in Cincinnati have proper policing and are highly protected. Now, honestly, out of those 32 communities in Cincinnati that he's referring to, who did he really mean? Do you really think he meant Oak Hills? Do you meant certain areas of Cincinnati? He meant higher crime ratings in the city of Cincinnati. That's who he was referring to. In the higher crime areas of Cincinnati, what's more active to happen? Where are all the shootings in the Cincinnati area? If you look at the 70 shootings last year on business of the city of Cincinnati, definitely where were all those shootings held?
Where were they held?
You think they were in the outskirts of Cincinnati?
I don't know where they were.
They were in the inner city, bro.
Okay.
They were in the inner city.
Hold on. So because something happens in an area, you're saying that makes it the people in that area's culture.
It's more acceptable to happen in that area.
How many people live in the inner city?
How many people live in the inner city? I don't know. You want me to give you a count?
Give me a guess.
I'd have to Google all that, bro.
But it's a whole lot of people.
These are smoke screens.
No, they're not. It's a whole lot of people, right?
Yeah.
How many people have to do something in order for you to say that is the culture of those people? Would you say if a police officer calls somebody the N-word, that is now the culture of the police department?
Based on your logic, yes.
No, that's not my logic. But that's what you're saying. Of the thousands
just flipped what
and
I
thousands.
Just told him he was wrong about it and say that's how I feel.
No, of the thousands, and this is what you just said. Of the thousands,
we record
and thousands of people that live in the inner city of Cincinnati, how many of them got killed?
Of the thousands of Cincinnatians.
Yeah. The inner city Cincinnatians. How many of them?
You should have
told me. You just said it was like 70.
Oh, I said 70 plus shootings.
Okay, the 70 plus homicides. 70 plus homicides.
Okay.
Out of how many people? And when you figure that out, figure out the math on that. In order to say that is the inner city culture, I would imagine that more than 1% of the people would be doing whatever the culture is.
Let me just break it down to you like this. How many of us went to I know Lando had a great event over the weekend. All white, right? Beautiful. We had a great time. Everything was Gucci, right? It was all good. No problems. That's a different culture that went to that. Now, when you look at inner city, I don't want to say no names because I don't want to get sued, but when you look at certain bars that have a certain environment, shit jump off out there. It jump off. That's a culture, bro. It's all culture, whether you want to classify it as a white, black, green, purple, yellow, whatever. It's cultural based. It's a certain culture is a mentality.
Or is it? And you're saying that's the mentality
How many
of
people
who live in the inner city?
I'm saying that's the culture of what happens within the cities, within the inner city walls, yes.
I don't believe.
Nothing happened over at Ovations over in Kentucky at the all white.
I don't believe in labeling an entire community.
Up stuff, man.
I'm not making up anything.
Man, this is me.
I don't believe in labeling an entire community because of the minority in that community.
See, you reeling rhymes and all that again. I don't know what you just said. Say it again.
How many people live in the inner city? Math will explain it because math don't lie. Find out the numbers. How many people live in the inner city? Whatever you determine the inner city to be. How many people live, work, and visit there? And then how many shootings happen there? Now, do the math, do the division, find out what percentage of the people who work, live, and play in that area were actually involved in those criminal behaviors. That percentage, that's their culture. But you can't put that on the other probably 99.95% of those people and say that's their. But when you say that's the culture of the people in the inner city, those 99.95% of people who didn't do nothing,
no. I said that the predominantly shootings happen in the inner city. I didn't say it's the inner city's culture to shooting.
Yes, you did.
I said it's the no. You making it sound like I'm putting it on all people that live in the inner city. All those homicides last year didn't happen in the inner city. I'm not suggesting that.
And what I'm trying to point out to you, what you just said, because that's not what you said earlier. You said that's the culture of the inner city. That was what you said.
I said that was the.
That was what you said.
All right, maybe I said it that way, but I know what I meant. I know what I meant, and I know that predominantly most of the shootings that happen in the city of Cincinnati are done within the inner city. Yes or no?
I'll accept that as fact.
Okay, well, I mean, you just watch the news. Just see where the
Well, watching
just
the
all you got to
news
do
don't
is
necessarily give you that information.
And inner city just don't mean OTR, does it? Don't that mean the surrounding areas? That could be
I
up in
guess
the
it all
Clifton
depends on your
area.
definition of inner
Right,
city. Everybody
right.
got a different definition.
Well, all I'm saying to you is Scotty was on point. I'm going to circle back to that. Scotty was on point. He was the only one that went up there and said something that was holding a group of people accountable
Like you
who
said,
just
he's trying to hold the culture
who
accountable.
tend to drop the ball when it comes down to giving up information and making it safe out here for everybody. And the reason why,
And I just want all
the
I'm saying
reason why
is I
people
want him to
feel
keep that energy when it's not black people. That's all I'm saying. Why is
man.
it okay? Why is it okay to call out black people? Let me accept Scotty was right. Call this out. That's black culture. Black people do
Nah,
this.
he
This
never
is what-
said black
It don't
people,
matter.
bro.
It don't matter.
He
Even
said
even if we take it to
the
the extreme,
snitch
my
culture.
point makes. If you say, all right, I accept premise that it's black culture, call black people out on it. Cool. I'm cool with that. Why is it okay to call black people out on it, but it ain't okay to call police out on it? Oh, because they police and you don't do it that way. You got to call police out in secret so don't nobody know. Shh, hey, y'all fix the
I ain't
culture,
going,
but we don't
bro.
want the people to know that the culture is messed up.
I ain't going.
Either it's okay to call people out publicly, or it's not okay to call people out.
So that's
publicly.
going to fix the problem. That's going to fix the problem of the shooting amongst a certain group of people. If once you start calling the police out publicly, that's going to stop
not
down.
fix the problem.
That's just
but
like
it'll
saying
be
if we take the
consistent.
guns off the street, that's going to stop the crime. That's
Might
just
not
like
fix
it's the
the
same
problem,
logic to me.
but it'll be consistent. It'll be consistent.
And that'll make
That's
you
all
feel better.
That'll make things better.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's going to make the criminals stop shooting.
Let me ask you
And
this.
it's going to make people stop doing what they do
I'm
because
not sure.
things are even.
I'm not sure. Let me test it
That
this way.
sound crazy.
Hold on, let me
E.
test it this way. Because I might be wrong.
You
so
wrong.
let me test it this way. Scotty getting up, saying take responsibility. If you see something, say something. Is that going to help the problem?
Yeah. That's the whole, yes.
Wait, okay.
Yes,
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
And that's going to help the problem.
Yes.
So police and Scotty and the mayor coming out saying the police take responsibility. This blue wall of silence culture got to fit. Why won't that help at that problem?
Well, because that has nothing to do with people doing what they doing
But
out
that's
here.
not what we talking about. We
Yes,
talking
it
about
is.
two different
Yes, it is.
issues.
No. You talking about two different
We talking
issues.
about fixing
I'm talking
problems.
about fixing the shooting in the city, and you talking about
and I'm talking about
accountability of the police
we
officers.
talking about fixing
what
problems.
the police do don't have nothing to do with how other people out here
We
shoot each
talking
other.
about fixing problems.
I need some help here. Am I living on Pluto? Listen,
You're not.
If
This
the
is Earth.
police was totally transparent about everything they do wrong on the police department, what does that have to do with other people shooting and killing each other?
It's got a little bit to do with it.
It's nothing.
It's got a little bit to do
They still
with it.
gonna do what they do. Matter of
It's
fact,
got a little bit to do
matter
with
of fact, Angela Kinney, can you help me?
Look.
Where are you at with this? Do you think if police were accountable or held accountable on what they do, that's gonna stop people from running up and down the street shooting
it's
and
not
doing
gonna
what
stop
they do?
No one said that it would stop it.
That's like me having a brother
Oh, my goodness.
and me and my brother do something. My mama only gonna hold me accountable for what I do, but she don't hold my brother accountable. He gonna continue to do what he do, but I'm the only one that got to stay on the straight and narrow. That's this. I mean, that's what you basically saying.
Uh-huh.
My brother
hold
gonna
on.
keep doing
Wait a
what he's
minute.
doing.
Wait. How would you feel?
How would I feel? What?
You and your brother, y'all both do dirt.
See, bro.
You one brought up the analogy. Don't bring up the analogy
But
if you don't want me to analyze
I don't.
it.
What I'm saying is you not even using it the right way. If me and my brother doing some dirt and my mother is only disciplining me.
Right.
My point is my brother is going to continue to do what he do.
Okay.
Now, how I feel is a certain way because my brother, he ain't getting in trouble, but I'm getting in trouble all the time. My point is my brother is not going to stop doing what he's doing because of what's happening to me. So the streets is not going to stop doing what they doing because the police is being transparent about what they doing. Matter of fact, it's going to be even more excuses of why they doing what they doing. Just like them shooting in front of the police. The reason why they're comfortable at shooting in front of the police is because of the temperature that's out here about the police. That's why they can do that.
Why is that the temper? See, you can't say to me, on one hand, fixing the police won't do anything. But on the other hand, the reason that they keep doing the stuff and they comfortable doing it in front of police is because of the way that people feel about police. Without putting those together, there's a reason why people feel the way that they feel about police.
Come give me a take, bro. I know you hearing it. I need to know, man. Do you think if the police department was more transparent, if Scotty would have called the police out for snitching, is that going to stop the people on the street from doing what they doing?
Again, you're trying to overstate my point.
No,
That's clearly not the point that I was making.
You're saying that if the police get their shit,
You're trying to overstate it.
No, you're saying if the police get their thing together,
Is this
then
a
the
question?
community will too.
No,
That's ridiculous.
I didn't say that.
Well, what you saying?
Are you going to listen this time?
I heard you.
I don't think you did.
Say it in Spanish. I might understand it better then.
I don't think you did. I don't think you heard me. I'm talking
Anybody
about-
hear it different than me?
I'm talking about two separate issues.
Tiffany Daniels, you want? He's saying basically.
Let me.
Come here,
Okay,
Tiff,
let me
man.
explain it.
Come on
No,
over
she
here,
want me
Tiff.
to explain.
Wait a
the
minute,
point.
hold on. Let me have the people. She's gonna ask
All
you
right.
the same question that she asked, but I want the people to be able to hear it. This is Tiffany Daniels, y'all.
I'm just a little bit confused
All right.
on what the point actually is.
Uh-huh.
So I hear y'all going back and forth, but now I'm like lost as to what the original point was. So what is it? Are you want more accountability for the police, or you want more accountability for the community?
I want both. See, here he's trying to make them. It's real simple. Point number one. Sure, people should be more accountable. No doubt about it. And people should call people out for not being accountable. Don't make it a black thing, a black culture thing, because it's not. It's a criminal element thing. So don't put that on me as a black man. That's not my culture. Even if I lived in the inner city, that wouldn't be my culture. So that's point number one. Point number two, but if you gonna stand there and call out black culture and be responsible and snitch if you gotta snitch, and you're a former police officer, do the same thing to the police when they do wrong. Just be fair. I'm not saying that if you do it to the police, that's gonna stop this, but I'm just saying, like his analogy, I'm sure if him and his brother both doing dirt and his mama only holds him accountable, he gonna say, but mama.
So he
But
mad.
can I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
But mama, why don't you ever say nothing to my brother? Don't just get on me, get on both
So
of us.
that's what you mad about. You mad because the police are not being held accountable for what they do and not being put forth.
I wouldn't say I'm mad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so.
Yeah. Because you using that energy to take totally away from what Scotty was talking about. So Scotty is basically saying we need more accountability. And what he means by that is we need people to step up and say something. I don't understand why we got a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with the people who know something maybe saying something. But again, to kind of label that as black culture, I got a problem with that. That's not the overwhelming majority of us don't act like that. The overwhelming majority of us don't act like that.
And we don't. That's a small culture that does that.
Then why do we accept it when they kind of put it out there like these black people?
I don't know.
And
if,
how is it?
I don't know if that's how it's interpreted, bro. I think that's how you may have taken it.
Okay. How is it wrong to say that's not a black people problem? That's a
I don't think
criminal
Tab
problem.
said that. I don't think Scotty said that.
I'm
I
still
think it's a
asking questions.
culture
Okay,
thing
you
that
don't think they said it, but let me again. You tell me, how is it wrong to point out that that's not a black people problem? How is that wrong?
Wait a minute. Did somebody? Is it me, bro, Ron?
I'm just asking a question.
I want to see if I'm the only one that missed that. But Ron, am I the only one that I didn't see it as a black person problem? What happened? Like, I don't think what Scotty said was he was referring to black people. I think he's referring to the snitch culture. Okay, now if you want to interpret the snitch culture as being a black culture, that's on you, bro. But the snitch culture,
I know a dog whistle when I hear
the
one.
snitch, it ain't no dog whistle. The snitch game is prevalent in communities that are criminal communities. Skinheads, all of them use that snitch game, that whole word. That's their culture.
If they up and start talking about, don't be worried about it if they call you a rat. Who they talking about? Now you're gonna pretend like you don't know. Hold on, you're gonna pretend like you don't know.
What you mean? Like,
But you know who they talking about. They talking about them Italian dudes.
Nah, bro.
Who
All right.
talking, calling people rats.
They call rats to everybody.
Mobsters and
that's
all
how,
that
that's
kind
where
of
it
stuff.
started. Yes,
you
I'll
know
give
that's
you that.
what they gonna.
But okay, so
it's a dog whistle.
so Tanachi 6ix9ine, Tanachi, whatever his name is, he a little Latino dude that ratted on everybody. What do they call him, a snitch, or do they call him a rat?
I don't know what they call.
They call him a rat. They call him a rat.
I don't know what they call.
They say, "How do you feel being the richest rapping rat?" That's what they call him.
Okay.
So I'm just using your analogy of saying when they use the word rap. Yeah, maybe from the movies, but they call brothers rats in the joint if they got paperwork. Let me shut up.
Look.
The point is,
We talking about
used in
politicians.
all cultures.
We talking about politicians getting up in a press conference using coded language.
Coded language, man. What?
Now
Was it AFTAB using coded language, or was it Scotty?
I want to say it was Scotty.
Not AFTAB.
I want to say it was Scotty, but it might have.
Because to me,
I might be. Wait. I might be confusing it because I heard Cecil Thomas earlier today, and it might be Cecil Thomas using it. It might have been Cecil Thomas talking about snitching culture. So I'm not. All this coded language get
to me. Your mayor used a little bit of, what do you call it? What did you call it? What is
coded language?
Coded language.
Dog whistles.
Yeah, he did when he blamed it on guns. When in fact he should have been talking about the same thing that Scotty was talking about, and that is accountability. That's what he should have been talking about. Instead, he talking about there's more guns than people in the world. This ain't the only place it's happening. He shift the focus. And I think Scotty, I'm gonna stick with it. Scotty said what needed to be said. And I'm not necessarily saying, look, Scotty is the person. What is his position? I mean, I know he's a councilman, but
chair of law and public safety.
Right. So, and you couldn't have a better person doing it because he's 35 years as a police officer. So that's right up his alley. But when, I'm sorry?
That goes to my point.
Okay, well, what I'm saying to you is this. AFTAB didn't bring on anything about accountability. He tried to make it a gun problem when in fact it is a group of people in a certain culture that's cutting and shooting guns and doing all of that. And that's what it is, bro.
They're wrong. Those people who are doing that, they're wrong.
Right. So I'm a little confused on how we get into the point of coded language, and it's not a black thing and all that.
Language.
Okay.
They're using coded language.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree. I'm not saying that certain people don't feel a certain way, and I'm not saying you're wrong in how you feeling all the way. I understand where you're coming from, E. I just don't agree. I think that you can use the word snitch, you can use the word rat. It's a culture. It's a certain group of people, man. That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with white, black, and none of that.
Okay, so they called them snitches. They said personal responsibility. So we ain't gonna have no more shootings, right? Of course we are. Of course we are. So saying that didn't do nothing.
Well, it does a lot more than if going by what you're talking about. And
I don't agree.
Wait a minute. You just said that, and it has nothing to do with what happened.
Holding everyone to a high standard. Holding everyone to a high standard, I think, does more than just holding a specific group to a high standard. Because then, police get their respect back.
You just don't like the police.
I don't have no problem with the police.
I can tell.
I don't have no problem with the police.
I can tell because
I don't.
You understand all the dog whistle words and all that old stuff. You hear it all.
I do. That's true.
Trigger words that pull you in and engage you to all that nonsense. You believe all that. You get it.
I do.
I think you traumatized, brother. I think something happened to you.
Well, yes, something happened to me. But that don't mean that I don't like police. Oh. That just means I want police to be held accountable, just like I want everybody else to be held. See, look, this becomes my issue. It's easy to sit here on, basically the day after a mass shooting happens. It's easy to sit here and say, oh, that's bad. I don't know many people who say, oh, that's a good thing. So yeah, okay, it's bad. No doubt. And kind of going on and on and on about it's bad ain't gonna make it no better. Okay? So you ask, how is this stuff gonna help? And I'm not saying it's gonna stop brothers from running around shooting each other, because it probably ain't. It probably ain't. But I would say, if we kind of there are some people, but if, like you said, the respect for police has gone down. Now you seem to believe that that's just because we keep seeing stories on the news and somehow the news is manufacturing the lack of respect for law enforcement. I don't believe that. I believe we seeing the bad stories on the news because a whole lot of bad stuff keep happening, because a whole lot more bad stuff happen that we don't see on the news. And because everybody is seeing it, there's a lack of respect for law enforcement. And because there's a lack of respect for law enforcement, you're the police. You ain't nothing. You're a crook anyway. So I don't mind pulling out my gun, busting on this dude with you standing right there, because I don't respect you or your position anymore. So I think it is possible.
You speaking for me.
It is possible.
You're right.
That if we get the level of respect up, again, for everybody, which means holding everybody accountable, everybody, holding the citizens accountable, holding black people accountable, white people accountable, those Italian mobsters, holding them accountable, hold everybody accountable, and police accountable. Then
that's going to make the criminals act right.
Maybe some level of respect goes up. Might
now
not
the
make
criminals again.
Hold on.
Maybe
they won't act right.
Everybody being held accountable.
Maybe
so
they won't
now
act
we
right.
got an even field of
but I won't do
accountability.
it. But
so
I won't
now
do
the
it standing right in
crooks
front of you. Maybe I won't act right, but I won't necessarily act up to that degree with you standing right in front of me.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm sorry. I don't get that. You're saying that if everybody had the same level of accountability, then everybody would be on the same even level playing field, then maybe our criminals might respect a little bit the police more and just not fire and shoot and be disrespectful.
Right in front of the police? Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
What? You know what?
Let me ask you this.
This gonna sound crazy. This gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna say, hold on.
Would you pull out a gun and start shooting somebody with a police standing right next to you?
I got different morals. I got different respect for myself. I got different respect for other people.
I thought it was.
But let me just say this. Yeah, I got morals. That comes with culture.
I thought our culture was shooting. I know we all did.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm using your analogy.
It's our culture.
And I want to go back and say this. And I'm not suggesting that it be this way, but when you know that there is a harder opportunity of, like, when the police are like can do whatever they want to do, I would be more frightened of that person than I would somebody that's been transparent, held accountable for everything. Because if they could set me up and shoot and kill me and get away with it, and they doing what they doing, I would be more amped to be afraid of that type of situation than I would people that have already been held accountable and all this old stuff, because that's what we're afraid of. That's what we grew up being afraid of, is the police can do what they want to do. They can do it how they want to do it. They can send us to jail. They can set us up. They can plant dope on us, all this stuff. We don't want that society, right? I'm more afraid of that situation than I am what you just described.
All right.
You're not?
No.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't explain it right.
It is out of a level of respect.
Did I not explain that right? I mean,
believing that law enforcement is actually going to do their job and do it appropriately.
And so that's going to give the crooks. Let me understand. Based on that, that's going to give the police. That's going to give the crooks a more respectful point of view or perspective of the police officers. So that's going to bring their level of crook to what?
I'll answer it like this. You go to a bank, okay, and you see 3 police in the bank. You going to try to rob the bank? No. Why? Because the police is there. Unless you don't care about them police, because they don't do their job anyway. Because they ain't going to do nothing. How crazy is it, the mentality, the lack of respect you have to have for law enforcement as a whole, to walk into a bank with 3 law enforcement officers armed and rob the bank? You got to have no respect for them.
And you have to have no respect for the police.
And you think that they don't have respect for the police because what?
Because of what's going on out here, bro.
What's going on?
When you have people disrespecting the police out here on the streets.
But why are they disrespecting?
Because of what we all talking about out here, bro. I mean, the internet has totally enhanced what's going on across the world. Something can happen in California and it can be so magnified that it'll make it feel like it's happening in your very own community. And that's not always the case. You can't look at a police officer, one individual incident that happened in California, and transfer that same energy to the city of Cincinnati, because that may not be what's going on here.
So
that was one isolated incident.
Let me make sure I understand you. And I ain't even gonna try to oversell it. I just literally want to understand what you're saying.
Okay.
You're saying that the reason why these people out here don't have respect for law enforcement is because they saw on the news that something happened in California.
It happens all the time.
And because they saw that something happened in California, they don't respect police in their area.
Sure.
That's the only reason.
Sure. That's not the only reason, but that's definitely an amped up ass reason. The reason why that's why the police, that's why kids do what they do when they engage with the police. It's not always because they've been treated a certain way. It's what they've seen people get treated like. And that ain't always in their community that they see that. They watching a video from Kansas City. It ain't got nothing to do with the Cincinnati Police Department.
So again, I'm going to reiterate. And you know I'm reiterating for a reason.
Yeah, I mean,
that
the reason, twist it all out. I get
No. The reason that they don't respect police is because they see the bad actions of police and say, my area, even though it might not be happening. Now, let me ask you this question. What would happen if, when they saw what was happening in Kansas City, they saw those police being held accountable? Would they still not have respect for police? If they saw other police standing up, saying that's wrong, that's horrible, we gonna take over our culture, that is not acceptable, we need to be more accountable, forget all this blue wall of silence stuff. I'm asking, if they saw that, do you believe that they would not lose that respect?
All I'm saying to you is this is why I have a problem, regardless of where we are in the conversation. What we're not talking about in this entire conversation is how to stop what happened on Saturday.
Well, let's talk about that.
And that's my whole biggest problem.
I'm going to tell you why we're not talking about that.
Well, hold up. Let me finish my point.
The reason why we're not talking about
We find every reason to go after something that happened that day other than the root of the problem. Y'all want to talk about, well, what was the description? They don't really know what he looked like. This is what he should have did. They talk about everything but what actually happened, why it happened, and why people are capable or would even have the morals or why would you even want to do that? Why would one individual shoot in a group of 9+ people? Why is that happening?
I don't know. Why is that happening?
No, that's what we should be working on. Not what the police is transparent.
But
that has nothing.
It does have something to do.
Hold on.
You said
Let me just say this. Let me just say this to you.
You said
how the police act has nothing to do with you carrying a gun, shooting in a group of people on a Saturday night at a bar. How the police carry themselves and what they do has nothing to do with what's going on.
You said it did, but
no,
okay.
That was you. That's why we even talking about this.
You said the reason they do this is because they don't have respect for. Remember, I asked you twice.
Yeah.
You said the reason they do this is because they don't have respect for police.
No, the reason why they will shoot in front of the police is why they don't have respect for the police. Not the reason why they would even do this in the first place.
Okay, so then let's address it. And then this is the reason why that conversation is typically fruitless. Why they do it, and how do we stop?
Can I pose that to the audience?
Why they do it, and how do we stop?
Come here, sis. Oh, a lot of people trying to call. Okay, that's my bad. Oh, okay. Callers, you can call back. I'm sorry. In the sun, you can't see the screen. My apologies.
Why they do it, and how do we stop it? Let's go.
Sure. Come on over.
No, crime. Just crime, period. We about to solve crime in the next 29 minutes. They say the shooter was black.
They have a description of the shooter being a black male, white t-shirt, blue pants. That could be anybody. That could be anybody. Good evening, caller. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. This is the Queen. I'm back.
Mary Myers, you snuck out of here. I didn't see you. You didn't.
I had to take care of some business.
Okay,
I want to ask you one question. Do you believe in black on black crime, Wyatt?
Do I believe on black crime? I do believe that black people shoot black people.
Excuse me?
You asked me, do I believe on black crime? I do believe that black people shoot black people. I believe that's a crime.
No, I'm saying, do you believe the coded language black on black crime.
I believe crime exists in. Listen, I don't know if
No,
I don't know.
do you believe the coded language that all these people use in black on black crime?
I
Yes
do.
or no?
I do not believe in black on black crime. I believe people that look like each other are generally acceptive of being crime happening within a certain community. If you're black, more
Okay,
likely you're going to be struck. You're going to be
good
hit.
answer.
You're going to be hit by a black person in some type of crime. If you're white, chances are you're going to be hit with a white person in crime. If you're Asian, more likely you're going to be hit with an Asian person in crime. So I hope I answered that one, Mary.
Yeah, you did good on that one. Okay, this is another thing. If the police were somewhere near there, they probably saw that it was going to be escalating to something. These police are worthless. If they were so close as they're reporting, then why didn't they stop it before the gunfire started? They need to defund these police.
Oh,
They're ridiculous. It's a shame that we have to put up with it, and then they want to use these coded language snitches and make like it's, Scotty comes in so he can save all the black people
Scotty
that
ain't
live
trying
in
to
these
save all the black
areas.
people. He just
I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it.
You're not going for
He
what?
sounds just like Smitherman,
Oh,
any other person that they put up in that position to so-called talk to the masses of black people. It's sickening. It's really sickening. And I came down there to meet you. And then a lady comes by you, and because she didn't agree with you, you want to clown her. You don't know what's going on in that lady's life. That was not nice, Wyatt, for you to talk about you're going to call 241 kids.
Oh, you know I was
Like
playing. You
said,
sound crazy.
it was not
Why
a
you
joke. We don't joke. We don't joke about Queens. We do not play. We uplift black women. We do not joke about this.
That's why you left, Mary? Because I had a joke?
I left because I had business to take
Now,
care
what
of.
I'm saying is, Miss Mary, you know I was just playing. How you gonna come out here
But
like
that
I
was
threw a
not a
serious,
joke.
like I
That
threw
was
a
not.
serious
That's
stick at
not a
that lady?
good look.
Then why you didn't say
Because
that when he was here?
I was at work when I saw that,
No,
and I
you
did
was.
make a comment in there.
What up, Crystal?
I did.
So
But that lady heard you. She heard the dialogue.
she heard
You
what?
could tell, and that's the reason why she said she agreed with him. She heard that dialogue.
I asked her what did he say.
You don't know.
I asked her what did he say, and she couldn't even repeat
She
what he
said
said.
it.
She was looking at Lil
She didn't
Baby
have
and
to.
enjoying Lil Baby. That's what that was.
No,
What
she
else you got,
heard.
Mary Myers? What else you got? Since you owe me for something
I
that ain't
just
got
wanted
nothing
to
to do with
say
nothing.
that you give the police and you give all these Caucasians like they gonna be the saviors
Where
and
was
all
all
of
that
this, and I'm
energy
not
when you
going
was
for it.
standing next
I'm
to
not
me?
going for it. Don't give me no Bill Cosby to come in here and ride through and try to save the masses and want to chastise the people. It's an ugly look. It's time to uplift. We need, when you do the podcast, when you're talking about things that's going to uplift the society, sounds good, real good. But to sit here and bash,
Ain't nobody bashing nobody. Didn't nobody bash nobody.
Yes, black bash.
All right, is that what you got,
people.
Mary Myers? I
Yes,
wish
it
you would have
is.
said all that when you were standing right here next to me.
I couldn't say it because you were talking and I didn't get a chance to, but I wanted to. But I just wanted to call in and let you know that Emmanuel is right. We have to be real careful of what we tell ourselves, especially what we tell other people.
And
have to really think about
that
it.
is what. So let me ask you this, Mary Myers. Do you agree or disagree with what Scotty said?
I disagree.
What part of it do you disagree with?
And that's what he's supposed to say. That's why he didn't take no degree, whatever it needed for him to say that.
What was Scotty supposed to do other than say what he
My grandson could
said?
have said the same thing. Scotty said he didn't say nothing profound.
Okay, what I'm
He
saying
really
to you,
didn't.
what did he say that was so negative?
It wasn't negative or nothing, but it wasn't all that serious. He did what he was supposed to do. That's what he gets paid to do. Isn't he law and public safety? Isn't that his position?
Yes, it is. But what I'm asking is,
he did his job, and he did really a poor job of it because he could have got really deep. Because just like Emmanuel said, when they were talking about using the N-word, they should have had a press conference and said, we're not going to have any police officer. We're not going to stand for it. Do the same thing. You know, be
Okay.
consistent throughout the whole thing. Don't just want to chastise black people all the time. It's really not a good look.
Okay. We're going to get the next caller, Miss Mary. I appreciate you calling. I really do. Hey, thanks for coming down. No, we appreciate you.
No problem.
Yes, ma'am. All right. I got another caller coming in that's
All
been
right.
calling. Hey, caller, this is King and I. Who am I speaking with? Sorry about that.
This is Linda. Hi, Wyatt.
Hey, Linda, how you doing?
I am well. Now, the sister just called, and everybody has their opinion, and that's okay. But when I say black on black, because I'm the one who said black on black crime. Black on black crime for me is not a code word, it's real. Every weekend, our children are shooting each other in the street. Now, tell that to their mother who got to go bury their baby. Tell that to them. That black on black boys ain't killing black boys. You know, I don't know what illusion that we're painting and trying to feed the public, but our children are out here killing each other. They're out here shooting each other, and everybody's tired of it. And we do need to do something.
I agree.
And we should be respecting our police officers so that more people can recruit more people and protect our communities and make our communities more safe. Everybody pays taxes and they want a safe community so their children can go outside and play without having to worry about gunshots, bullets flying everywhere. Because when it does happen, when a crime does happen, who do they call? They call 911. They call the police. Oh, they call the police.
Oh, not necessarily.
And I'm just kind of tired of this narrative that everybody's been paying for quite some time because that's what they get paid to do.
It is.
On both ends.
They get paid well, too.
They get paid very well.
Yeah.
To keep selling us this narrative when it's our babies that are the ones that are out here dying and getting buried. Every weekend, the funeral homes are full of our babies.
It's a lot of people.
Out here getting shot. And normally they're getting not shot by the police. They're getting shot by each other.
How do we fix
and
it?
It's enough. Enough is enough.
What's the answer, Linda?
I don't have an answer.
Oh.
I don't have an answer.
I thought you had an
answer.
I can say this,
Miss
Miss Linda.
And you can't predict what's going on out here. And this is real talk. You can't predict when somebody's going to shoot each other. Who can predict that? Are you a genie?
Miss Linda. Miss Linda, I agree with you. I'm 100% with you on this, okay?
I know.
But when,
I'm just tired of it.
Listen, when
somebody, because
Linda,
there's too many mothers out here burying their babies.
And Miss Linda, let me say something to you.
Babies for 9 months, they've invested money in them, raised them, and all those things like that, only for them to be gunned down like dogs in their neighborhood. And nobody else is out here in these numbers in the city of Cincinnati killing each other. You don't see the Latinos out here doing it. You don't see the Asians out here doing it. You don't see white people out here doing it. We're the only ones out here shooting each other. And let's be real about it. I'm sick of it. Enough's enough.
So when somebody asks you,
I get upset about this because y'all don't see the mothers who in there crying, trying to figure out how to bury their baby. Okay, I'm done.
So listen, Miss Linda, when somebody asks you, hold on, don't go nowhere because I want you to hear this. When someone asks you what's the solution, I don't think any of us have the solution. I can tell you this.
No, we don't.
I can tell you this.
But a lot of people got paid big money, millions of dollars.
Hold on.
To call themselves gonna stop gun violence. I ain't calling no names, but I know that people that got paid millions.
But hold on, Miss Linda, is it fair to say?
Get me started.
Is it fair to say that when someone asks you what's the solution to the problem, and we really don't have a zeroed in solution, we can't really answer that question. But my answer to that question is this: we got to have a real conversation first. We got to narrow down to what the problem is and not be talking about all the other things that need to be held accountable. You got a clean house before you expect somebody else's house to be clean. That's all I'm telling you.
Oh, that's not true.
Okay. We just have to disagree on that one, Nanny. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we disagree.
You just got a clean house. You got to.
We definitely gonna have to disagree.
It's time for people to start getting real about this conversation and stop listening to people who are my dogs for barking, constantly getting paid to feed you another narrative.
Okay, Miss Linda, we appreciate the call.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
It's all good.
I mean, I'm just saying, you can't. We talking about holding other people accountable for the things that they doing and this and this and that. I just think if you got a neighbor and they music loud and they just horrible neighbors, what other people doing in the neighborhood ain't got nothing to do with what you doing in your house.
Okay, but we got 18 minutes now. We gonna
Is that what it is? I got
Yeah,
one
we
more call. You
gonna
want to take one more call?
yeah, we gonna solve this problem, y'all.
No.
And we got 18 minutes.
Yeah, this is
Come
the
on.
reason why we here. When
Yeah.
you have if you have a real conversation and not be trying to shame people by how we feel about our points, because people talking about I'm Bill Cosby. How the hell I'm Bill Cosby? I'm saying that we need to hold. I'm just like Scotty. I feel the same way about it. We got to start holding certain people accountable for that.
So what we gonna do?
Let's have real conversations and not be talking about those code words for us to fall in line
Okay.
for all that old stuff. That you
Code
can't
words.
do.
All right, code words don't exist. All right. Police are perfect. What are we gonna do? Come on,
I
y'all.
can tell you right
We
now
have a solution.
that
What's
most
the solution?
Hold on one second, caller. Good day. Let me let the caller get it in. Go ahead, caller.
First of all, man, salute y'all to giving y'all platform to this wide, and also man, I appreciate
Who we
y'all
talking
giving
to,
y'all
brother?
platform to this subject.
Who we talking to, fam?
This is Court from OTB, man.
What's
Boxing
good,
Clay.
Cliff? What's happening with you, brother?
What up, big bro, man? But I just feel like the solution is in the resources. If we can make dreams that much more touchable for the average kid walking down the street, then they're not that much willing to give their life for it. But when you feel like your dreams is untouchable, then you're a lot more willing to do uncircumcised things to achieve what you might feel like is touchable in that moment.
I agree with you, Cliff. One of the things that I'd say to you on that is dreams begin at home. You got to have someone, you can't just have dreams by yourself. You got to have dreams and somebody got to help you. They have to encourage you that your dreams are possible.
Well, right now, we shape dreams as a culture. We shape dreams. When they cut their TV on, we shape their dream.
But wait a
They
minute.
feel like the dream is there versus us putting it in our community that the dream is in the classroom. The dream is what you can achieve from doing the things that we might deem successful. But right now, these things is in the streets and they touchable.
Yeah.
The dreams that they sell into these kids ain't touchable.
So let me ask you something, Cliff. What?
It's Court, bro.
Court, my bad. Damn, my bad, bro. Let me ask you this then, Court. What happens? Who's responsible when kids listen? When parents get out hustled by the things that these kids are seeing on the streets and on TV, is there a fault to lie on somebody there? And who, if so, who is it?
There is a fault on the culture at hand. There is a fault on us as parents, the same ones who burying these kids. We letting these kids believe in things that they shouldn't be believing in. So we have to take responsibility on that as a community. So all of this black on black crime and everybody want to point the finger somewhere, the answer is right outside your door. Go talk to these kids. Go see what these kids going through, because their childhood ain't like yours.
Okay, that makes sense, bro. That makes sense, bro. The only thing is, man, sometimes it's like a church. You know, a lot of people sitting in the church, they there, and some people who should be sitting in there, you know, listening to the message, they're not there. You heard the old thing that he's preaching to the choir type of thing. Some of these kids that you do try to touch, man, there's been several kids, and you know this, that I've reached over the years now. You can't. You try to show them the right thing. You try to be there for them. You try to do what you can do for them, and they end up in trouble. Some of them go on and graduate from high school, go on to college.
You can't save them all.
You can't save them all. So it's not that some
and we get that, but if each one of us as a culture and each one of us who can relate to these kids, which all of us can, because we've all lived, ain't nothing new under the sun. So we all have to reach out. This is something that everybody as a collectiveness has to reach out and reach and hold these kids, because man, they throwing their life away because they don't feel like it has purpose.
All right, let me say.
And that's what's scariest. But y'all go ahead. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. I just appreciate y'all giving y'all
I
platform.
appreciate you,
to
Court.
the-
I think E
to
might
the
have a
cause.
question for you, though.
No, I don't really have a question for you.
Okay.
I appreciate what you said.
Thanks, Court.
And thank you for your call. But those wasn't kids shooting down.
I know, and I think he knows that too. I think he's talking about the majority of the shootings that's going on are usually 18 and under. That's usually what's going on right now. I think that's what he's referring to.
All
and
right.
I think that is where you have to start. I think it's too late when you got grown-ups out here running around playing guns. If you get the younger kids, then you don't have to worry about 10 years later they still doing the same thing. I think that's where he was going with it. I could be wrong, but I think he's saying that you got to start them at a young age.
I agree.
And that's how you solve the problem. I mean, we asked, how do you solve the problem? I think part of solving the problem is catching kids. You can't catch a kid at 13 years old. You can, but it's unlikely. It's most unlikely that they're going to change, versus if you catch them at 5 and 6 years old and they're being educated, they see the values in other things. They feel like dreams are realistic. And I understand exactly where Court is coming from when he talk about some of these kids feel like their dreams aren't realistic, or they're dreaming about things that are, I guess what he was saying is the culture has to blame as well, because some of these guys are chasing the bag and they doing whatever they need to do to get the bag. And that means if they got to hook a crook, if they got to do whatever they got to do to get the money, that's what they doing. And I think that's where Court was going. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it sounded to me like he was saying that the internet and the culture and all that type of stuff has a lot to do with why these kids are doing what they're doing out here. I think that's what he was saying.
All right. So how do we accomplish that?
I think that I see parents here. And I think that one of the things that we have to do is we got to hold our parents to a higher standard, and then our parents will then hold the kids to a higher standard. I just think that most people who have, if you look at the common denominator of kids that get in trouble, it's the lack of support, and that lack of support is usually in the home. That's just my opinion. That's just how I feel.
I don't disagree with you. I don't have the solution. I don't have a solution to gun violence in the African American community or in any other community. I just don't. I don't know. I don't even know what to say to begin to solve that as a problem. But I don't necessarily want to go off script. Are we supposed to be, solving the problem, right?
Well,
We're supposed to be solving the problem.
I don't know if we came here today to solve the problem, but I think solving the problem starts with the right kind of conversations. That's what I say.
And I think the right kind of conversation is holding everybody accountable. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the right kind of conversation, because if everybody, like you said, if we hold the parents accountable, if we hold the criminals accountable, if we hold the young people accountable, if we hold the city leaders accountable, if we hold police accountable, if we hold everybody accountable, then maybe we can get somewhere. But if the only conversation that we want to have if it's just holding Black people accountable for the actions of a few, then I think this is the conversation that we'll have, where Black people bad, don't know what they doing.
See, you making this. See, what killed me?
Responsibility.
What killed me?
Need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Need to any other thing that you can come up with, because we don't want to talk about my point. The point that I'm making clearly, and I'm being a little extra with it, but the point that I'm making is it's all a part of the conversation. And that's why I started off by saying I'm cool with what Scotty said. I didn't bash what he said. I said I'm cool with what he said. I just want him to keep that energy, because if we only gonna hold us responsible and everybody else get to be reckless, we gonna be like you, frustrated when everybody else get to be reckless, but we always being held accountable. And then that's going to make us be even more reckless, because I can't be a little reckless because I'm going to be held accountable, but everybody else can just be off the hook. And I'ma still be the only one held accountable. So what's to stop me from pulling out a gun and shooting in front of the cop? What's gonna happen? What they gonna do extra to me? You know what I'm saying? So it's everything, everybody, parents, teachers, children, you name it. Everybody needs to be held responsible. So I'm not saying what Scotty said was horrible. I'm just saying let's keep that energy about everything. Let's keep that energy about everything. And I don't understand how that's bad or wrong. I don't understand how it's wrong.
Because I don't know. I'm not saying that you're 100% wrong, E. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I think everybody should be held accountable. I think that the police should be held accountable for the things that they do. I think that people that run around with guns should be held accountable for what they do. But I'm just trying to understand, how does others' accountability play a part in people who carrying guns and shooting at each other?
And I
see what you're saying.
Goes together.
That's the part. That's my disconnect.
Okay.
Yes. Go ahead. Go. Sure.
Wait.
Come on over.
Come on. Got to get on the mic. No, because they ain't gonna hear you over the air. They're not gonna hear what you're saying.
Come on, Miss Williams. You know I talk.
Yeah, we gonna be sitting here in silence, like
they gonna be like, "What's she say?
What's going on? Are they?"
Athea Williams, y'all.
All right. Okay, so what I wanted to comment on is y'all hit some key things that's already been happening since.
You write it down?
No, I just want you to understand. I come with receipts from 2019.
Okay.
Parents on Main Street, business owners on Main Street, police, the park enforcement as well. And they also have like the director of 3CDC, and we met once a month for quite a long time. They increased patrol down on some of the streets. They even start blocking the streets off because on weekends it get really hectic down there with every club open. So they block it off, and it's only so much they could do. I think you should start just holding the person who's responsible for the violent activity responsible. I don't think it's still like on the parents at that time, but I don't think it's kids. I'm gonna be honest with you. But the corner is loaded, with a lot of adults that do not live there. They come to visit. They have lived down there once upon a time, and they come to fraternize with each other. But at this point, I think that's why I came to just see if there would be new ideas or that was said. But everything that you all said, it has been going on for quite a long time, and it's not improving.
Right. So where do we begin? Like me and Eve been asking this question. We've been asking the question, where does it begin? Where do we start? How do we fix this problem? We're not going to fix it today, obviously.
No,
but where would we begin if you were running things?
Increased numbers. The numbers are very low. I mean, just because we meet, like when you say get the community together, the numbers are very low. It's significantly low.
So we need more cooperation from the people,
yes.
the community.
Yep. I mean,
so sort of like what Scotty
shows up. It's just not enough of us.
Well, they show up when the cameras show up. But
the cameras weren't there.
They were there.
No.
You're talking about at the press conference?
No, I'm talking about when we've been meeting before the shooting even happened.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean,
you're right.
Just sit at a big table,
and I think you said that. You said, so what happens? And I said, I said, go to an Avondale community meeting if you think that's where it's at.
Yeah,
because
so
the numbers aren't there.
It's just the numbers
aren't there. The participation. Now that doesn't take away from the hardworking people that actually go to those community meetings. I'm not trying to say that they don't go there, because they put their work in and they go. Right. But what Scotty is saying is we need more community response. We need more community involvement. And that's what he was saying. And I can't say I can't detect any lies in what he said.
Because especially with the residents there, the culture has changed. So you're not going to get enough of African American because they are moved out at this point. It's more major businesses. So that's what I see is more numbers in the businesses, and then like city council, police, 3CDC for sure. Their numbers are very, very high. So what they say go pretty much. But yeah, until you start being inclusive down there, it's not going to work.
Thank you, sis. That makes sense to me. Thank you. Athea Williams, y'all. Krista Wheelwright came down here and didn't make me, but she had me do a wardrobe change, y'all. Y'all know Duke Reagan, Cincinnati's very own Duke Reagan, is fighting this Saturday, August the 13th. I'm not exactly sure where, what city. I think he's in LA or something like that. It might be in Vegas, but he's fighting this weekend. Make sure you call Mary Myers and order your t-shirts. This is Duke Reagan. Good luck to you, champ. Silver medalist. He's going for win number 5 or 6 or something like that this weekend. All praises to him and his family. And good luck this weekend, young Duke. We appreciate you. He's a very good guy who represents the city with none but love. So thank you. Thank you, Duke Reagan and his family, for the t-shirt, Team Reagan. And thank you, Crystal, for dropping it off to me. I appreciate it, Queen. All right, so where we at with it?
I got a call.
Yeah. I think we do. Good evening, caller. Who are we speaking with?
It's Black Russia. What's up?
Hey, Black Russia, what's good?
Hey, good seeing you earlier. Just wanted to say, at this point in time, the only thing that's probably going to be good is deterrence. So I say up the gun spec, mandatory time.
That don't work anywhere else. Gun laws are not stopping criminals for doing what they're doing. You can ask the people of Chicago.
Yeah. But, you know, if you get some of these people are the repeat folks, hey, you start getting, instead of 3 years, you start giving them 10, it should slow stuff down.
Let me just say this.
Go ahead.
Let me say this to you, Black Russia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you follow Cincinnati politics. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did not the city of Cincinnati work collaboratively with the FBI last year, and they came in and dropped the city of Cincinnati $1.3 million on violent crimes in the city, and they upped the charges on all gun charges, and they were making them federal charges. I don't think the gun violence in the city went down even when the feds came in and poured that money into the city.
Yeah, that was a one-time deal. I mean, it has to become consistent. It can't just be like we're going to do this one time and clean house on the gun play every so often. You see what I'm saying? It has to be a concerted, direct targeting of it. Because like you were indicating with Scotty, there ain't enough community engagement. All right, so if there ain't enough community engagement, then that's problematic number one. So then the only time it's probably going to work is if people start saying they're getting these 10 years, they're getting 10 years. You see what I'm saying? If people start getting heavy time, you'll slow some of this stuff down. You ain't gonna never be able to totally eliminate gun crimes. It ain't gonna never happen. You're not gonna be able to do it. So I'm just saying, hey, you just have to start giving out more time.
I say we need to change the people. The people, listen, man, there's a reason. I think there's a lost people, whether it's, I don't care what color.
When you say change the people,
Toten.
okay,
You see what I'm saying? I mean, change those people that are out here in the streets. There's a reason why we do what we do in life, no matter what it is, right? We have reasons. Some people have, some people have legitimate reasons, and then some people don't. But I think what we need to do is change. I think, who was it? The caller that called in, Court called in and said if these guys had dreams and realistic dreams and had accessibility to their dreams, that they would be less likely to commit crimes and do to that nature. And that's where I agree with him. I think if we catch these people who are toting guns and acting that one way out here, if they are doing different things at a younger age, then those things won't be so appealing to them being gunplay out here. That's all I'm saying. And I
agree with that. Try to catch them as young as possible with mentoring and all that.
Yeah, but Black Russia, you also mentioned, bro, that stiffening up the gun laws. And I'm saying that it's proven that strictening gun laws, giving people more time, is not necessarily changing the culture of gun toting and criminality out here. It's not changing that. People are still doing it.
You're not going to be able to totally, like I said, you ain't going to be able to totally eliminate it. But for the folks who's out here actually participating in the gunplay, you gotta do something with them. You got to get them off the streets. Now, it's in combination with mentoring the young kids and try to keep them away from the guns, right? But the ones who are already out here who's doing it, who you can't save, you got to talk them to the state of the feds.
So you're not saying the strengthening the gun laws is going to cut down on the violence in that way. You saying strengthening the gun laws is when we catch them, they in jail for a long time, so they won't be on the street. committing acts of gun
they're out
violence.
of there. Right, get them out of there. In combination with mentoring the young folks to keep the guns away. You got to do both.
Okay. I mean, I think you move them out. You move them out for a long time. Somebody else gonna step in their place. I don't think it's gonna reduce gun violence if we got a lot of people out here who don't know how to solve issues using their words, not their fists, not their feet, not a gun. If they don't know how to solve issues, conflicts using words or walk away, I don't think it's going down.
It probably won't, but that's what I'm saying. You get the bad actors out of there and just try to target the young folks. That's all you can do. I mean, nobody has a solution. Obviously, I mean, that's what comes to my mind as far as the solution goes. The folks, because it's repeat people who keep doing the same thing over and over. It's like folks getting out on easy bonds and they go back and reoffend instantly. Like if they factor in public safety, like that's a ballot that you're coming up in November statewide about putting public safety in the bonding situation because they took it out for a case. I mean, if people are coming out on bond and keep playing with guns, I mean, how many times they have to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't be on the streets. They got to be facing big boy time. And then just target the young folks. Yeah, somebody might be able to fill that little void, but the minute they screw up, you get them out of there too. You just keep getting them folks up out of there until you reach the generation that eventually says enough. Other than that, we're going to keep seeing what we're seeing.
All right. Hey, we appreciate your call.
All right.
Thanks, Black Russia. Appreciate you, brother. All right, man. You know,
I'm down with responsibility,
where little
personal
baby at?
responsibility. She had to use the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I ain't losing.
Mrs. Livingston ran into the bathroom.
Okay.
But yeah, that's why I was telling you, man. Some of these conversations are difficult to have because people want solutions, but it's so much to go into the solutions. And if you not talking about this slice of the pie, because that's what it is. I often feel like when something happens, people don't like to look at everything surrounding it. And I think there's a lot surrounding it. But no. Don't talk about that. Just talk about there was a shooting on Sunday morning / Saturday night. What do we do about that? And you're never going to get anywhere with that because there's so much more involved in it.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that you have to start somewhere. And holding police accountable for the things that they do. That's one thing.
Oh, hold on.
And
Can I
what we
say
do-
something
Sure,
real quick?
Sure.
I was looking at the comments. Phil Black.
Who?
Phil Black.
Phil Black?
Yeah, he got it in the comments. And I sometimes I just have to call this out. He says this, I just hate Scotty Johnson. I got nothing against Scotty Johnson. Like zero. I got zero against Scotty Johnson. Scotty ain't never did nothing to me. I wasn't even necessarily disagreeing with Scotty.
No, I
was just
understand
saying,
now that you
be
explained it.
consistent. So that's not an annual hatred for the police, which you said that too. How is it hatred for police to say, hold them accountable? How does that equate to I hate police if I say hold them accountable? I didn't say Scotty hate black people.
I think where people
and he said black people, hold. I didn't say Aftab hate black people when he talked about personal responsibility.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Aftab was talking about he was talking about guns.
He brought it back to personal responsibility.
He was talking about there's too many guns out here for people and blah, blah, blah. He not one time said people need to step up and be held accountable.
He did. Towards the end of what he said.
Did he?
He said, I agree with what Scotty Johnson said about personal responsibility.
Okay, so but hold on.
But that don't mean he hate people because he think that people should be held responsible. So if and I believe Phil Black is a former police officer, if not a current one. And so if every time somebody says bad law enforcement should be held accountable, if your return is you hate police. I didn't say do anything bad to any police officer. I just said get up and hold them accountable.
I think,
and your response is you hate police.
Well, I
Come
think
on.
what happens is here once again, our points get clouded. You gone, Tiff? Tiffany Daniels out of the building, y'all. Our time is about up. I'll say this last thing, and you guys can have the floor. But I think what happens is when you're trying to have a conversation about accountability about some shooters that shot amongst each other and shot in a crowd. All right, Tiff. And then people bring in accountability of police. I don't know if everybody registers the same thing by saying this is a police related situation or the police has something to do with this. So why even bring the police into the conversation of personal accountability? See, that clouds it when you start bringing in what the police ain't doing and they not having press conferences when the police do something wrong. You can never really get to the root of the problem of why people are doing what they do when you bring other issues into your argument.
But here's you deal with that. See, I'm going to give y'all a quick lesson over about years of learning. Here's how you deal with that. This happens and so talking about this. And you say, just keep that same energy when it's law enforcement. You know how you do that? You say, right. That's the end of that conversation. But when you got to justify why law enforcement should be held accountable, then that's like you saying, no, police shouldn't be held accountable. That's what it was. That quick, it could have been over. Like, you're right, police, he should keep that same energy. Because he should.
So what did the police do that night that may have been good?
Again, that's not the point. I'm not talking about what they did that night. I'm talking about a former law enforcement official who gets up and talks about accountability, which I'm cool with. But keep that same energy when there's law enforcement needing to be held accountable.
Okay, so when something comes up, you expect him to have that same energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the whole conversation.
All right, but
that's,
you
that's
see
like
how
the
we
end
had
of the conversation.
We had an hour and a half.
That's
worth
because
of,
and the only reason is
but
because
that
people
whole
have an issue with people talking about keeping police
no
accountable.
What it sounds to me is people have an issue talking about the personal accountability of what actually happened. When other people bring in issues, I never brought up what the police did that night, what they was doing.
Neither did I.
But you said that you had an issue with what Scotty did because he don't hold the police accountable.
No, what I
don't have
said
press
was
conferences.
he should keep that same energy. And then you wanted to make me justify why he should keep that same energy when it's police. But if it would have just been, you're right, because like I said, everybody should be held responsible, right?
Yeah, I think what made me ask that question is because when you have a feeling and you feel like, well, Scotty was somewhat right. He was right. I agree with some of it, but I just feel like, and it went on to that conversation.
The only part that I said I disagreed with is, and again, I admittedly, I might have been confusing him with Cecil Thomas talking about snitching culture, because that is a dog whistle to me. That's a dog whistle to me. I know exactly who they talking about when they say that. When they talk about snitching culture, they not talking about dudes in the penitentiary. I know who they talking about.
You know.
So what I'm saying is, look, y'all, don't try to make me not believe what I believe. And I believe everybody should be held accountable. Look, if I get up when police do something wrong and I'm talking about hold them accountable, and then you say, well, keep that same energy when somebody in the black community do something wrong. And I say, okay.
Well,
that's the whole end of the conversation.
Let me just say this.
But if I say, why I gotta keep things with what the black community got to do with this? You know what I'm saying? It creates a whole thing.
No, I get it. Listen, E, I don't disagree with you. I just think that you can't, when you're trying to solve every problem can't be solved by solving all these other problems at the same time. Sometimes you got to take one issue at a time, and it'll piggyback solving the issues. And I think until we have a real conversation about certain things, it's like us patching up the holes in the boat and not really discussing the big hole. The big hole.
We have real conversations about this stuff all the time. We have real conversations about this stuff all the time.
I don't know if the leadership does. You and I, some other podcasts, radio, maybe they do. I don't know. But I'm talking about leadership.
Here becomes my question. With this happening, and I asked you this earlier, what is leadership doing? City leadership. What are they doing to address the problem?
Well, they think that allocating more money is the answer, and I don't think that's the answer. I think until you start holding people to the fire and holding people accountable, that money is just a cover up. It's a fix. It's a Band-Aid over a bullet wound, so to speak. No pun intended.
But what does that look like when you say holding people accountable in terms of the city leaders. What does that look like?
No, I'm not saying hold the city leaders accountable. I'm saying until the city leaders start reaching deep down and holding people accountable, such as like when you got a 14-year-old out here putting hits on people and he's part of the problem. I hate to say this, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for anyone. That's not a 14-year-old's problem. That 14-year-old found that out and started living that way when they got dropped off and left by a parent. You see what I'm saying? That's a mentality and a lifestyle that has somebody failed that kid. Someone failed that kid.
No doubt.
That's all I'm saying.
No doubt.
So we got to start holding those that are failing our children accountable. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, to everything. You're going to have some mom, some dad that's going to say, I gave that kid everything, and they still turned out this way. It's going to be that way sometimes.
I got to ask. Ask. When you say, just using that example, holding 14-year-olds responsible, holding people responsible because somebody failed that 14-year-old. I'm asking, what does that look like? Like, are we considering, or are you suggesting, when you say holding parents responsible, jail time for a parent whose child is out there acting that irresponsible? What does holding that parent responsible look like?
Well, they do it at the school level. When a kid doesn't go to school, it's funny how they cannot go to school and a parent is held accountable. But if they commit things out here in the streets and get in trouble multiple times, it's the kid that get in trouble and the parent. I'm not saying that the parent don't face consequences such as shame, embarrassment, and things of that nature. Maybe a price of a lawyer and all that. But I think there's more problems for parents when the kids don't go to school than it is for a kid out here that's doing something in the streets and hurting other families and hurting people's loved ones. You see what I'm saying? I just think that there has to be another level of accountability of the parents that are failing their kids. And that might sound harsh. It might not sound. It might sound like I'm, saying some ridiculous.
All right, man. Take it
easy, Ron.
Thanks for coming out.
All right, but I'm just being honest, man. I think that until we find a new level of holding parents accountable for what they 14 and 13 and 12-year-olds are doing out here. They do it when they go to school and truant in school. I don't know if anybody's ever had to go to truancy court, but what's the procedure when a parent is not doing things and their kid is skipping school? There's punishment for that. Parents have to show up for court and do court things. And, I don't know what it is. I never really had to go through it, so to say, but I do know that there are things in place when kids skip school and parents are held accountable for that. What are parents accountable for if their kids are 12 and 13, 14 years old out here and they just totally just ransacking the community? What's the punishment to the parent?
It's a conversation. It's a conversation. I'm not.
That's one of the conversations that need to be had.
And one day you can catch me and I'm in the head space where I'm like, put them in jail. Put them in jail. Another day you can catch me and I'm of the head space that those kids are people making their own decisions, and no matter how you raise them.
How can a 12 or a 13-year-old make his own decisions? We know that, there comes a certain age that a child is going to definitely make their own decisions, of course. But don't you think that the parents have a lot to do with how kids make decisions?
I do. That's why I said one day you catch me on one side of that. The next day you're going to catch me on the other side of that.
I feel sorry for a 14-year-old kid out here killing people. It's not his fault. It's not her fault. When you got a 14-year-old girl stabbing another girl in the neck, that kid has seen some things in their life to even have that type of pain in their life that they feel like they have to use a physical violence towards another child to stab them in the neck because of a disagreement.
I agree.
That didn't just start that day. That child probably either seen some abuse in the home. There's some things that we have to start holding people accountable for what their children are seeing. That's where it starts.
Look, again, one day I'm on one side, one day I'm on the other, because I understand what you're saying. I feel you on it, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine my 14-year-old, and I'm doing my best, but my 14-year-old sneaking out doing some stuff, and then I'm on the hook for it when I didn't know. I didn't raise them like that.
So
I'm
if your 16-year-old
I'm on both
if your
sides. I get it.
16-year-old wrecks your car, who's responsible for the wreck that 16-year-old just made?
All depends.
All depends, bro.
Yeah.
No,
No,
the
it all
parent.
depends. No, it all depends. It all depends.
The parent
But
ultimately will pay the
again,
price.
we had this conversation before. When you're talking about responsibility, who's going to be financially responsible in the eyes of the law? The parent. Whose fault is it? Who set things in motion? It might be the
Well,
16-year-old.
that's a little bit
You know what I'm
different.
saying?
Yeah,
And so
I mean, it's a difference
that's
to
why
who
I'm like,
fault it may be because of the action of driving. It's an accident, but the ultimate punishment, the financial or whatever, unless there was something that was intentionally a 14-year-old, excuse me, a 16-year-old with a license steals that car over there that's not their parents' car. Okay, there's criminality there, right? There's criminal done there, right?
which is why I say it depends, because there's a lot that goes into that situation, which you acknowledged earlier. And my issue when we're talking about holding parents responsible is we go overboard with stuff, and how you can acknowledge that all situations ain't the same, and that sometimes you need to do this, other times you need to do that. My fear is that in the justice system, sometimes that common sense gets lost, and it gets, well, parents have to be held responsible. You're like, but that's a 16-year-old who's out with their friends and they stole a car. They were nowhere near me. There was nothing for me to do to stop them. They wrecked that car. Well, you're responsible. You're going to, financially responsible. And if we move to the level of maybe some jail time, some probation. Now I'm on probation because everybody in the legal system doesn't use common sense all the time. And so we get to, eventually it'll get to mandatory. If a 16-year-old does something, then it's mandatory that parent gonna do 6 months in jail. And you like, whoa, but he didn't know. Well, that don't matter. It's a zero tolerance. And so that's why I'm like, I feel you, like, yeah, you need to hold parents responsible, but I don't trust the system enough to use common sense when it's time to hold parents responsible.
No, that makes sense. I get it. But if we start leveling it that kind of way, then we got to make sure that we put our people in place to make sure that it start making sense and that we trust the system. You can't just start a system like that and not have a watchdog or not have people in place to be able to make sure that the children or whoever, the children, then the parent, is being treated fairly. But I think if you have nothing in place, you're losing a battle. If you don't have anything there to monitor it, if you don't have anything in there holding people accountable, then there's just no accountability at all. And now those lost children are being put into the communities, and we're taking care of them. You see what I'm saying? And they're not listening to me. They're not listening to you. They're not listening to Miss Joanne and them on the streets no more. These kids are running the way they need. They just doing what they want to do.
See, here's my position on a lot of this stuff. And here's kind of why I'm not a conservative, which I hold some conservative views.
You sure do, bro. I'm not saying you are, but you do have a lot of conservative ways. That don't mean that it's bad. I mean,
But again, it's
absolutely
me not. I don't trust the people that we have running systems to be fair and to people when they're doing stuff. If I trusted people to be fair, I'll be with it 100%. Like, yeah, holding parents accountable, and if they're not, I just don't trust it, and that makes me, because I see people like these national conservatives and all that, people who pronounce themselves conservative. They lose perspective. They lose the ability to be reasonable along with their conservative views. I mean, it's like me and abortion, even though I know it's not the same. It's like me and abortion. I'm conservative on that, man. I'm anti-abortion.
Okay.
But I'm reasonable enough to say, but that ain't my role to tell nobody else what to do. And people who pronounce I'm conservative, I'm anti-abortion, and we need to outlaw it and make it illegal, make it so they can't get them, and make it so if somebody do get it, then they go to jail and punish the doctors, and the doctors can go do 10 years in jail, and then anybody who heard that this person got an abortion can sue the doctor and get $10,000. It's like,
that's doing the most.
Yeah.
That's just doing
so
too much.
We got so many of those people working in the system that it just be so hard for me to trust.
Do they work
that
in the system, E, or are they part of I don't know if they work in the system. I'm not disagreeing. I'm asking, do those people work in the system, or are they a little bit more visible in fighting for that position and how they feel? I don't know.
I think
I
it's a
don't know.
little bit of both. You got some of those, what the right likes to call activist judges, but they're
That go both
activists,
ways.
right,
That
on
go
both
both ways.
sides.
That's right.
So you got these activist judges on both sides. You got people who are making the laws, who are not being reasonable with some of the laws that they're making. And then if they're not being reasonable with the laws that they're making and the way that they're written, the judges are going to have to interpret them. Then some judge going to do something this way, and then next thing you know, they're gonna be like, well, we didn't like the way that judge did that, so we got to do mandatory. So and once you get into mandatory, it's out the judge's hands. The judge got to look at you like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, the judge then plays into the sentencing part of it.
Right.
So it doesn't, something can be no tolerance, it can be mandatory and all that, but there's a discrepancy that comes in with a judge. So just because something is a no nonsense, there is some discretionary there because the judge will make a decision on the penalty amount or whatever. So I don't know, man. I just think accountability has to be more prevalent. That's why I had all up respect for what Scotty said, because you very seldom see a politician and I know a few people have said some things like, he just said what he was supposed to say. Well, he's one of the very few that said it that way in a long time over the years that I've been listening to Cincinnati politicians. I haven't heard many of them say it the way he said it. Now, some people may have seen some code or some words or some bird dog words and all that. I just didn't quite take it that way.
It just dawned on me. I get the Bill Cosby reference.
Okay.
I didn't get the Bill Cosby reference until literally just now.
All right.
The Bill Cosby reference was no. The Bill Cosby reference was.
I'm gonna pay for that.
No.
I've seen the comments about.
I didn't get it. Like I was like, why is she saying Bill Cosby? What Bill Cosby got to do with this?
Yeah.
And
Okay. Help me, and then I gotta go for the day.
The pound cake speech, bro, where Bill Cosby was blaming poor black people for all of the ills of the black community. And
so that's what I was doing.
That's kind of what if you agreeing, she's saying that's kind of what Scotty was up there doing. Yeah, it's easy once you get in a certain position to take a strong position against black people and we need to hold them accountable, blah, blah, blah. And that I didn't get it until literally
I'll remove myself from that because I took that as a strike. I thought she was referring to me on some Bill Cosby shit, but she was talking about what the perspective of where Scotty was with it. Okay. All right. So
I don't know why I just now got it. I'm slow.
No, you're not slow, bro. I understand because I took it totally wrong as well. My thing is, I don't think Scotty meant it that way.
I don't either.
I don't think he meant it that way, but I also seen some of the other comments that she's made. So, I don't think that comment that she made was on point, and I don't think some of the other comments, you'll probably read them later. But that all being said, I don't think he was making it I don't think he was doing that. I think what he was saying is in this particular case, and like Aftab said as well, this is not only just going on in Cincinnati, it's going on in a lot of different cities. He said that. And I have to agree. And the reason why people feel like they can do these things in a community, such as openly shoot fire on somebody and do it in front of the police, that's new to me on the fire in front of the police thing.
Yeah.
But firing in front of people that look like us and doing it just because you can, there's a level of disrespecting the people around you, and I wish you would tell on me. There's an intimidation factor that comes in there, bro.
Oh, no doubt.
Where if people, they have these messages like, you ain't gonna tell on me. Part of that snitches get stitches thing, okay? That is in the community of, if you tell on me, you got something coming back at you. There's recourse to that. The blowback is, I'm gonna take care of you if you tell on us. And this is what Scotty was trying to say. We need to remove that.
And that might be more of an issue. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how, but more protection for people who step up to, become witnesses, testify, all of that kind of stuff. If there was a way that the city, the county, the state, whatever, could protect people, then I think you might have more people willing to step forward. But if I step forward, oh, I know who that dude was. They get back to him that, oh, that was the king of talk. And he the one told on you. And next thing I know, my life is in danger.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
I mean, it's easy to say, step up, say something. But if I ain't got no protection.
I understand. I'm with it, man. I just didn't like some of the things that, unfortunately, that the mayor said, and I agree with what Scotty said, and I think it took, I don't want to say balls, but it took a big man to finally say something that a lot of politicians won't say, and he generalized, he basically attacked part of the problem, and that is the reason why people do what they do around people is because there's no threat. There's a wall put in front of other people. Like if you tell, you're gonna get dealt with.
Yeah.
And I think Scotty was attacking that wall.
And let me say this about Scotty, which is why this got glossed over in the beginning. But I said Scotty's one of the few who I think might have room to say what he said.
Yeah, 35 years. And let me tell you this. Let me say this to you so y'all would know. I grew up down here. Like I grew up 1335 John Street, probably about 6-7 blocks over. And I'm going to tell you right now, Scotty was on the block when I was a child. When I was 16, 17 years old, I was 15, 16 years old. Yeah, about 16, 17, something like that. Scotty was on the force. And this was his area. Scotty was walking Laura Holmes and Lincoln Courts. And he was out here chasing kids that look like us. But so he been out here in these streets.
But here's why I say he's one of the few that can say that. Because I've heard him on the radio calling police wrong when they was wrong.
Okay.
I've heard him calling for accountability when police were wrong.
Good.
So that was why I said he's one of the few. And I said I can think of maybe 5 of them.
Don't that give him a nice balance to be able to check the police and check? It's exactly what you're looking for, right?
Right. That's why I said
he's had that same energy since I've known him. I mean, I don't know him personally, but listen. When I was a kid, I didn't want to know him. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, you didn't want him because I don't want to put his business. He was a cop, but he was a stern cop. He was the type of dude that'll grab you. He would grab you, or he'll tell you to your face, "I'm gonna lock you up." You see what? I'm gonna get you one day. He said that to some people that I know, and one of them people still in jail. How many years it's been now? 30, 35 years. And he probably know who I'm talking about, and some of these people know who I'm talking about. But at least if you heard him holding the police accountable, then I know he's held the community accountable. Not only by what he just said last night or whatever he said in the press conference.
And that's why I was just saying I want it done on the same scale to the same level. Everybody.
Okay. That's fair. I don't disagree with you. I just maybe disagree with
when it's said.
Yeah, how you do it. Because look,
let me say, I feel you on that because it's like when we're talking about some of the issues with women. The women always want to step in and say, well, what about the men? We're not talking about the men right now. So I feel you
with
what you're saying.
You got to tackle one issue at a time, even though there's so many pieces to the engine and so many different layers of the onion. Sometimes you got to deal with one layer at a time before you start doing and reaching other places because it'll take a lot of the energy and it'll take out a lot of other stuff away from what you're trying. It's like a jack of all trades and a master of none sometimes. You're trying to run 10 different businesses and you can't even really run one right. But you got all these ideas and you're beating yourself. You're defeating yourself by trying to incorporate too much at one time.
Hey, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, it's time to get up out of here. Folks, hey, I appreciate everybody coming down. We about to wind up out of here. Everyone that came down, all y'all out there in the world. And Eli's.
Yeah.
Eli's Barbecue. Y'all got to come down here. Now, we was just trying this out. And, maybe we'll come back. I don't know, bro. It ain't going to be in the winter, and it sure in the hell ain't going to be when it's hot like this again.
No, and we know we need some good internet.
Yeah, man. See, I told you to hook your stuff up.
You actually did tell me that in the beginning, but I was like, "Now your stuff is," because you was like, "Yeah, mine is simple, and we can just do it." I was like, "All right, we'll go the simple route.
Yeah, nah, you came down here. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You came down here with a truck full of equipment. I came down here in a bag. I came in here. This is the same bag that I travel with, but E came down here in a truck with cameras. I mean, he had everything.
Bro,
He
it's just
even
a Honda Pilot, bro. Oh, this
a truck,
stuff
a truck.
stuck in
My
my
car's sitting over there, and I could fit just my bag in the back seat. E came down here with equipment, y'all. He had everything but a crate of albums. If you ever was a DJ, he had everything but a crate. And I thought he had a DJ stand and everything in the truck too. You got a DJ stand in there too.
I don't have a DJ
Now,
stand.
now, E, before we get out here, can you tell me the truth about one thing?
What's that?
I love this show, bro. I really do. But I just want to ask you something. You smell that weed?
Yeah.
Damn, bro, that was the third problem I had with being right here, right? It was, people don't understand.
Earlier.
But, yeah. Anyway, how many people got blessed on this mic, bro? You know this the church mic, right? How many people didn't got baptized? I want to know.
I'm not even sure that means.
Well, you know.
Um,
Okay. Kurt Franklin ever sang on this one?
No, bro.
Nah, what's the name of the Eli and the what's the group?
Eli and the what?
What's the group, man? Your
Stop
group.
it. Stop it.
What's the group?
Jonathan Dunn sang on that before.
Who is that?
He's
Jonathan?
an artist, man.
What is he? Is he a gospel dude or a regular?
Yeah, he a gospel dude.
Okay, I don't know him.
You know, you don't know him, but you know his music.
Really?
If you like if you've heard Marvin Sapp, you'd have probably heard a number of his songs. He wrote a number of that. He wrote some stuff for Tamala Man and all that kind of stuff. So you got a little bit of celebrity on there. You got a little bit of celebrity on there.
My bad. No, E. Can we get one?
Nah.
Miss Livingston, can we get E to do something over here?
Nah.
Can we get E to get a little note in?
No.
Can you riff one time?
No.
Can you do the Eddie Kane? Something. Can you do a 5-heartbeat joint?
I can tell you it's about time to get out of here.
What is it? What's your favorite song?
It's about I don't know that I have a favorite song.
Okay, what's your favorite
like
gospel
music,
song,
bro?
though?
I don't know that I have a favorite gospel song.
Yeah, hit the what's that name of the guy who said never would have made it? Marvin Sapp. Can we get that one from you?
And we about to get out of here.
Can we get the never would have made it?
Let me tell you this. I am so shocked. We got Fame down here. Now see you ain't, like
you sitting to the back of him. You
you
crazy.
you ain't like a regular on my Facebook page, right?
Who, me? I'm not. Okay.
No. I told this little story. Yeah. I thought it was funny. It was a funny little story. Fame, how long did you go? How long did we go back and forth?
About 50 posts.
Yeah, we about 50 or so posts deep.
Fame crazy.
50 or so
you gonna
posts
go?
deep.
You gonna get that? He crazy with it.
Yeah, I was like, and I was looking. I was looking for him to say something else, but I had got out of my coverage area because I told him like I can go all night, bro. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't care. We can go all night. And I was like looking. Good, I got him. He ain't say nothing back. Shut him down. When I got right back to the coverage area, it's probably about 4 posts. Like, where you at? Thought you could go all night. I took my verbal Viagra. I'm waiting on you. I'm oh.
So it looked like you gave up.
He looked like he got me. He looked like he got me.
Fame, he'll go until you just say, man, all right, you whatever. But hey, but man, listen, E, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody that came down. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to, share the waves with you and do what we do. And, we just started. We're just getting started. And sometimes people will agree with you. Most of the time, people will agree with me. And I'm just kidding. I'm just saying. But no, I'm just saying, like, as long as we had these real conversations in dialect, I don't care when people get mad at my perspective. I really don't mind. It's, if you can learn more from people that you disagree with than sitting back talking to somebody that agree with everything that you say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's value in listening to people that don't agree with you. And we just need to start seeing that a little. We need to start having that more often. So those that hate me for my perspective, maybe you can learn something from my perspective, because I surely can learn something from your perspective. And those that got mad because I was tripping on the boots and shit, y'all don't know my personality. Stop tripping. Stop acting like I'm on some hate and shit, or I'm in some elite mug or something. It wasn't even that. Y'all know that we always gonna have some fun no matter where we go. And here go the thing. This where I grew up. I can do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say. I'm not gonna disrespect nobody to the point where she didn't get mad. She knew we was playing. So stop playing. Stop trying to make it all serious because you don't have no fun. We was just having fun. Nah, and because she might have just kept on walking or whatever, y'all know she didn't really agree with E.
She agreed 100%.
I'm just playing. She didn't even know what the hell
wholeheartedly
you was
with
talking
me.
about. It was the little baby she was cool with.
She agreed with everything I said. We was in sync. She felt my emotions. She didn't know my name, and she couldn't tell you what I said.
Right.
But
she agreed.
We was.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If she didn't know what you said, she couldn't feel the vibe. She didn't know nothing about what you was talking about. She just agreed. I'm okay with that. I'm not hurt.
I take that every day.
I'm not hurt. But anyway, thank you, folks. E, I appreciate you once again. Thanks. This is the King and I down here at Eli's Barbecue. Hopefully, everybody ate something. And if you didn't, maybe try it. Give them a call sometime. Put it in your phone. I don't know the phone number off the top of my head. My apologies. But they're at 133 Elm Street down here in Findlay Market. Come check them out and let them know you heard about them from us. Now, this place been down here forever. You don't really need us, but it'll help us if you tell them that you buying them ribs or that biscuit or whatever you buying. You heard about it here. Just let them know that you heard it from us. That would go far for us. Thank you. Go ahead, D. I'm out.
Hey, I ain't got nothing else to say. Make sure you check out Wyatt at 5 o'clock today.
Not today. You trying to work me. It's about 5 o'clock now.
No, I don't really have anything else to say. I hope something amazing happens to you today. Amazing. Until next time, it's been the King and I. I'm Emmanuel Livingston.
And I'm Wyatt.
Peace.
Thanks, guys, for coming out.